ball might not carry too well because it is very humid after the rain. This is Ryan Pizell, who's having a great College World Series. 8 hits and 18 trips, driven in 7 runs, and he has 56 for the season. So he's just had a tremendous performance out here in Omaha.
He is not your typical leadoff hitter. He's a third baseman, doesn't steal a lot of bags, but Coach Dave Perno, the head coach that has really turned this Georgia Bulldog team around, wants one of his better bats at the top of the order, and it has paid off in a big way here at the College World Series.
How's this one foul?
Dave Perno, 23 and 33 last year. They will be the first ever NCAA champion to have a losing record the year before if they can pull this thing off.
Done a tremendous job. Been here 3 out of 6 years. Here's a bullet hit to left center field. Hedstrom will cut it off in the gap and hold it to a single. Did a great job by Pizell to start the ball game. He's now 9 for 19 in the College World Series.
Well, he's got real long arms, big tall guy, but does a great job with his plate coverage. He pulls his hands in. You see that? He just gets his hands in on that fastball, and that ball tailed in on him. And he did a great job getting the barrel of the bat on the ball and driving it to left center.
Matt Olson, the senior from LaGrange, Georgia. In sharp contrast to Pizell, he has struggled out here. Broken 0 for 9 slump and has since gone 2 for 9. And his season average has fallen to .317.
You know, last night in his last at bat in the 8th inning, he got a base hit. So he went 1 for 4, and that hit might catapult him into tonight with some confidence, even though that average has plummeted.
Pizell can run at first. 13 steals this year. Seen very little small ball out here. A lot of guys, instead of bunting, have chosen to hit and run or just hit away.
We've had some great catchers. We had Buster Posey of FSU, and we had Jason Castro, a first-round draft pick of the Astros. So those 2 first-rounders can shut down the running game.
Castro threw out the first 2 that tried to steal on him, and that pretty much shut it down. One of the guy tried and made it, but he didn't steal it off of Castro.
That was for the Stanford team against this Georgia team.
0-1 to Olson. Defensive cut on an inside pitch. It's 0-2. Olson looks a little disgusted. He may have been looking for something else, but it wasn't a good cut.
It was coming off of a fastball, and that down and in breaking ball to lefties a right-hander can throw, and they try and aim it for their back leg, and it kind of disappears sometimes on a lefty. It's a dangerous spot to throw a lefty down and in because they love that pitch, but when you bury it, it's a pitch that they will bite at because they know they hit that down and in pitch so well. And that one had good bite at the end, just under the swing.
0-2 to Olson with Pizell at first. Miller is very, very deliberate. Fouled back out of play.
A decimated Fresno State Bulldog pitching staff last night. Like Batesel said, look at the roster, see 6.75 in the ERA, and take everybody from there and go up. Well, Justin Miller, fully rested. He pitched 4 innings, three days off, then an inning and a third in relief, and now 2 days off. He's one of the guys they count on, and his statistics are much better than 90% of the guys who pitched last night. And what an effort they got from all of that patched together bullpen guys last night. They actually got a combined quality start from guys with 6.75 ERAs and above.
Yeah. Yeah, they were tough on a on a night when they were challenged to give their best in dire circumstances, and they did.
Sean Bonesteel, Jake Floaty, Chris Tomlinson, Jason Breckley, and then Brandon Burke, their closer, the best arm they brought in the game, couldn't get it done with a 3-run lead.
That had to be the major disappointment. They got through the part that was scaring them to death and got to Burke. There's a swing and a miss by Olson. He's gone for the first out.
It's that same down and in breaking ball. He stayed with the breaking ball. A lot of times when a pitcher gets a swing and a miss, the hitter's got to realize he's going to see that either sometime in this at bat or sometime in the rest of the game. Matt Olson didn't learn very much because that pitch was even worse than the one that he swung and missed at the first time.
And now the All-American Gordon Beckham at 404, only one home run away from a home run in that department nationally. Instead, he rings a single to left. Selsdorf comes over, and it's runners at first and third. Beckham comes through again. He is a hit machine. That is his 109th base hit of the year.
Well, last night Ryan Pizell led off the game with a chopper over third that turned out to be a double. Watch him take this third base on a base hit to left. He continues to push the envelope as far as hustle and continues to put pressure on the Fresno State Bulldogs. This senior has led him emotionally, and he's taken it to the field.
Well, he's so smart. The outfield is deep because of Beckham's power. Rained all day, so the outfield grass is wet. The ground is soft. If he doesn't see that left fielder really be able to charge that ball and come in as hard as he can, he knows he's got a chance to make it. And now Poitras, a guy that they haven't been able to get out here, hitting .429 in Omaha, 5 runs driven in, and has 3 doubles. They all came in the same game. Poitras .374 on the season, and Georgia with a chance to get the lead early.
You're thinking about a strikeout for Fresno State Bulldogs in 14 at bats. Poitras has struck out 3 times to try and strand that runner.
No balls and a strike.
Last night he was 1 for 3. His hit came in his first at bat. Then he grounded to short, a fielder's choice, and then a walk.
0-2 to Poitras. Miller would love to get something on the ground to one of the middle infielders and have a chance for a double play. Got back just in time.
There's the quick the third to first move. Sometimes when you finish your follow through to third base, see the arm, he never finished the follow through to third base. What that does is it gives the runner more time to recommit himself farther to second base. So instead of just stepping off to third, if you do a full arm fake, the runner gets farther off the base, and I think you get him then.
This one slowly hit, but through into right. Detweiler comes up and throws for third. The throw too high. Now down to second, in there as well. And Georgia takes a 1-0 lead. Very aggressive on the base paths because that time Detweiler came sprinting in on a slowly hit ball. And if the throw's not high, he's got a chance at third.
One more breaking ball away. They've been into the righty, but he doesn't get it down. He gets him fooled, but there's no bite on this one. It's enough to serve at the right field. And you're right, Mike. They are pushing and pushing on the base paths. The aggressiveness of Fresno State trying to throw out a run that really they have no chance on. Steve Detweiler shouldn't have thrown that ball. He just should have ate it and kept the runner at first. With Poitras at second now, you really set up a big inning.
Beckham at third as Pizell scores. Poitras down to second on the throw. And Massineri will have a chance to drive in a couple. Giving him a night off from that spot, making him the DH, switching him. Massineri still looking for his first RBI here in the College World Series. He has 65 on the season, but only 3 out of 15 here in Omaha. None driven in, no power numbers.
Bryce Massineri reminds me a little bit of Mike Scioscia, who caught for me in the '88 championship Dodgers. And there's his wife Lauren and their little baby girl there.
Like most of us, he married over his head. Popped up. Detweiler coming in will make the catch, very shallow and no chance to send a runner from third, so that's 2 gone. That'll leave it up to Cerrone. And if Miller can get out of this with only the 1 run scored, he'll have to consider it a victory.
Massineri went up the tunnel of love. I don't think that tunnel gets much love after you pop up the right field with a runner on third and less than 2 outs.
No. Tunnel of cracked helmets.
Yeah. Broken aluminum bats.
Give Cerrone a free pass and nearly gave him more than that, as Overland really had to go out and snag that one. Get the double play in order for a guy who's got some power, and send up Joey Lewis with the bases loaded and 2 outs. That's Lewis on deck.
Well, this is a right-left strategy to get the right-handed hitter against the right-handed pitcher, because both of those gentlemen, Matt Cerrone and Joey Lewis, were hot as of last night. Cerrone had a couple of hits with a big double in the 8th, and Joey Lewis had a single up the middle that scored a run.
Last night, bottom of the 8th, Lewis doubles. His bouncer up the middle, bounced off the bag into short left field. That scored Matt Cerrone with what proved to be the go-ahead run. It was tantalizingly close to being fielded. He'd love to do that again.
Brandon Burkham's got a bare hand on that one.
Lewis has driven in 5. Make it 6 or 7 as that one's to dead center. Hedstrom comes up throwing. Not in time, and it's 3-0. Well, you walk the left-hander, but you go to the hot hitter, and he delivers.
That's a high breaking ball again. A couple of good breaking balls to the lefties, but to the righties, he's been hanging them. They've been more slurves than breaking sharp. And Poitras, who's had some tough bang-bang plays with just average wheels, gets in there just ahead of the throw. It's a slow track for the outfielders and for the runners.
Lewis with 2 driven in, and now Lyle Allen. So Miller can't limit the damage, and has given up 3 first-inning runs. Allen's had a good World Series. 4 hits, driven in 1, hitting .286, and takes one right in the can. That'll load him up. And right now, this first inning is a disaster for Justin Miller.
It's a terrible scenario for Mike Batesville, because he has a very thin bullpen. He's going to try and patch it together if Justin Miller could give him 3 or 4 innings. And he needs to stick with this young man for a while.
Hey, nobody hurt there, Mills. Nobody hurt.
The conventional thinking would think that if Fresno State was going to win 2 games in the series, both games would be slugfests, because they're going to probably give up some runs because of the fumes their pitching staff is running on. And last night, the opportunity of being ahead, well, first they started at 3-3 in the 7th, and then 6-3 in the 8th. And to lose it in the 8th and go 7-6 was a very tough blow.
David Toms with the bases loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike. Toms 61 at bats this year, hitting only .197. has driven in 3 runs all year long. 3. Gap shot here, he gets 3 more. Already activity in the Fresno State bullpen. It's the last thing they wanted to do. Oh, excuse me, I'm watching some activity in the Georgia bullpen, which will be meaningless at this point. It's probably the starters just staying warm.
Nick Montgomery staying warm, and getting a little catch in.
Swing and a miss, they got him, but 3 runs are home. Nick Montgomery staked to a 3-run lead as he goes out to the hill. He's a senior out of Marietta, Georgia. This is his 2nd College World Series appearance. He went 3 innings earlier in the series and gave up 3 runs.
And they're looking for an outing like he had against Georgia Tech in the regionals. He went 9 innings and threw a shutout, only gave up 4 hits.
Danny Muno out of Thousand Oaks, California, the leadoff hitter. Kid who will take pitch after pitch after pitch, trying to work the count every at bat, and it's been very successful for him. And one of those people who doesn't mind getting 2 strikes on him. Still hits very effectively. 326 on the season.
Well, that says an awful lot about a freshman who's playing shortstop, anchors your defense, and then is the leadoff hitter. We see a lot of freshman shortstop. We saw one at Stanford that hits 9th in the order. But to do both is amazing.
And he draws a leadoff walk. And that's what Fresno State needs. Base runners.
Well, the defense for the Georgia Bulldogs has been stellar here at the College World Series. And Ryan Pizell, the senior at third base, we've seen the hustle on the bases, but you should see the guante at third base. He can throw the leather. He gets a great first step, and he can turn. He's got a nice, strong arm.
That's it up.
Fastball fouled off the bat of Gavin Hedstrom. Young man had a grand slam in the Super Regional, was really hitting well coming in after the first 2 years having less than 20 at bats, but has struggled here in Omaha, only 4 for 20.
Well, Gavin Hedstrom is going to have to fight the emotion like the whole lineup of not trying to hit the 3-run homer all by yourself. Just continue to grind out at bats. It's so early in this game.
You see that bat action. He's got that, forward press over the back of his head, if you can relate it to golf, and that makes for a really long swing, doesn't it?
It sure does. You'd like to see where the bat's going to be when the front foot lands. A lot of this waggle is extra motion, but the timing of when the front foot lands, you see if the bat is ready to swing.
Towards short, Beckham.
That's out. He's pulling it out. He's pulling it out. Got it out.
And
Got it
they
out.
got the out at second. Boy, that was close. Now they're going to rule he was transferring the ball from the glove to the hand, but I'm not so sure. Neither's Mike Batesel.
And the other thing you have to watch in this play was he's straddling the bag when the ball hit the glove and he was transferring, so he hadn't even actually tagged the bag yet, if that's what the umpire rules. Foot's on the bag, you can rule that a transfer. He wasn't straddling it, the foot was there. A lot of times what middle infielders are trying to do on that play is actually deflect the ball into their bare hand off the heel of the glove, and that's why the transfer can be so quick. It's never really a catch. And so umpires can get fooled sometimes if there actually is a catch, but it's kind of like the in the vicinity play. They do it to protect the middle infielders. So you see it mostly called as a drop on the transfer, not a no catch.
And after seeing this, I'd have to agree. If that's the way it's going to be called, the ball hit in his glove, he attempted to transfer it to his hand.
Well, that ball actually hit the heel of the glove, rolled up the whole glove, and it looked like it came out the top. I don't think it ever touched his bare hand.
So maybe a break for the Georgia Bulldogs. Hedstrom reaches on the fielder's choice.
One of the best I've ever seen at that is Omar Vizquel. He could actually catch the ball and look like he caught it in his bare hands. It's such a quick deflection.
Going back a long time, the best I ever saw was Bill Mazeroski. The ball looked like it bounced off his glove and went to first.
And if you guys are at home and you're under like the age of 15, do not try the deflection yet. If you're in Little League, just catch it and get it out of your glove and throw it to first.
Breaking ball just low. Montgomery stares in, didn't like the call. 2-0 to Eric Wetzel. He's a junior from Chino, California. Hitting .391 here in Omaha, .363 on the season. Fastball for a called strike.
You know, Mike, what I was talking about in that deflection, where they're trying to deflect that ball off, is the heel of the glove right here. So it hits the heel of the glove, and they've got their bare hand here. It just deflects right into the bare hand, and then they throw the ball. Instead of catching it here in the web and then trying to find it in the web.
Sure. It's
actual deflection right off the heel. And it's very, very quick, but it takes a lot of practice.
This one fisted towards short. Beckham will take it himself for one. Throw on the first, a double play.
Mike, 2007, a year the Georgia Bulldogs wanted to quickly forget. They had a losing record. They didn't even make the NCAA tournament. And back in March of this season, Ryan Pizell did not want to see his team go down that same very road. After the team had dropped a game to Arkansas, he got on the bus and gave a very heated tirade. I was told profanity-laced tirade, something young children wouldn't want to hear, and basically gave it to his team as they were going 65 miles per hour down the road. He told them, we have better talent than what we're playing right now. We should have more wins than what we have. Just basically, you need to get up and start playing harder. And I talked to head coach Dave Perno about this today. He really felt like that's what got the wheels in motion this season. It was so loud of a tirade. Lyle Allen, freshman, was on the phone with his mother and said, Mom, I'm going to have to call you back.
And Dave Perno, I'm sure, appreciated that, because Ryan Pizell was one of the guys that he looked to as a senior for leadership. He knew he had juniors that were going to get drafted, guys who were extremely talented baseball players. But he had to have the leadership from the seniors in order to pull this off, and he got it. And Pizell now 2 for 2 as he singles to left for the second time. Well, not too many people outside of the Georgia camp expected the Bulldogs to have this kind of year after 23-33 last year. And at the bottom of the SEC, they were unranked in the preseason polls. If they win tonight, they will tie the record for the most losses by a College World Series title team, and they're going after their second. They won their first in 1990 when Dave Perno was a player with his ball club. Fastball is up to Olson, and he is staring intently down to third to get the signals. Try to play small ball and get another one over to second base.
Well, they're putting some pretty good swings on Justin Miller. I think he's going to let him try and use that hole over there at first base. The top of this order has really produced for them in the last 2 days. They are 7 for 16, the first 3 hitters for Georgia.
Good point.
And opposite that, they are 0 for 15 for Fresno State's top of the order. So the top has been getting it done here in the College World Series for all the teams, but it has stopped for the Fresno State Bulldogs and continued for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Ball and no strikes to Olson. Fouls this one back.
You know, one of the great things about having a left-handed hitter as your number 2 hitter is when you get your leadoff hitter on, you have that hole over there at first base, and that's why so many left-handers win batting titles in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Is because when the infield has to adjust for a runner on first, it creates that hole over there. You could drive a Mack truck through, and that routine ground ball turns into a hit instead of an out.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pizell at first, nobody out in the Georgia second. Mendoza creeping in from third. And another throw to first, trying to keep Pizell close.
You know, on the other side of the coin, Mike, when you're a pitcher, it removes pitches from your repertoire when you know you have a left-handed hitter up and a runner on first, because now the routine ground ball and a nice slow curveball turns out to be a base hit. It takes away one of your out pitches. You throw the
runner goes, throw to second, not nearly in time. Stolen base for Pizell, his 14th of the season, and that leads the club.
Well, we talk about Ryan Pizell not being the typical leadoff hitter, but right there, the senior, most of his stolen bases are done with his brain, not his speed. Being a third baseman, he gets good jumps, he reads pitchers well, he reads situations. A very smart baseball player.
First stolen base of the series for Georgia. They had been caught 4 times earlier. Olsen a long way to center. Hedstrom all the way back to the track. Pizell goes back and tags and advances to third. Olsen gave it a ride, but not quite deep enough.
Well, again, just fundamentally sound at second base. Ryan Pizell, the senior, does not go halfway. He goes about 12, 14 feet from the bag at second, waits to see if the ball's going to be caught or go off the wall. And from that position, he can do both. He can tag, or if it goes against the wall or is dropped, he can score. So this is a kind of a third of the way. He goes back there, but he started about 12 feet from the bag, reading the catch or not. And he got the tag.
Now Beckham with a chance to pick up an RBI runner with third, 1 out. Beckham singled and scored his first time up.
It's interesting that in the 2 games the Georgia team has hit the pitchers with resumes and has not hit the pitchers that did not have resumes and ERAs below 6.75. They were a little anxious against the guys with the high ERAs. When they have a normal at bat, they've been raking.
Well, they last night consistently, at least in the early innings, went after the first pitch and were hitting the ball back up the middle right at somebody, even though they hit it well at times.
And Sean Bonesteel's the starter last night for the Bulldogs, the Fresno State Bulldogs, had an ERA of 6.75, and they looked like they were trying to add on to his ERA with 1 pitch instead of working the count.
Well, there's an offer. Borsheim's a very famous jewelry store here,
owned by Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, a famous guest we had last night for an interview with Aaron.
Fouled back.
I actually was at Borsheim's today with our producer Scott Matthews. I was looking for a little something. I hope my significant other is not listening. And Scott, I hope your wife is not listening, but you didn't buy anything, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, now I hope she's really not listening.
Oh, that's right. You're not married yet. I forgot. Engaged. That's why he didn't buy anything. He can go home without a gift.
And Beckham will get a base on balls. And Poitras will come up again. Been the most dangerous man in this lineup. He has just ripped the ball. Game 3, you'll see it right here tomorrow night if we need to go to the third of the best of 3. Georgia trying to make that academic. Once again, they'd love to get Poitras to hit the ball on the ground, but he hasn't cooperated with anybody. Drove in his 6th run of the series in the first inning. And Beckham at first can motor as well. Dead center field. Hedstrom almost in his tracks, but that's deep enough to get the run home. And Poitras with another RBI, this time on a sacrifice fly.
Well, that run produced by Ryan Pizell right there. Base running, a nice stolen base when the first baseman left home to guard for a bunt. And then he tagged and got to third. And one more tag to get home.
4-0 for Georgia. One thing Dave Perno said, his pitching staff really knows how to defense the scoreboard. You get a 4-run lead, you milk that lead.
That was personified by one of the relievers, Dean Weaver, who will be in relief tonight. He kept giving up a bunch of tin soldiers when he came in when they had the big lead. They were up 10-2 to Stanford, and they got to eliminate Stanford with a 10-8 win.
Massinari 0 for 1, stands in with 2 out, and Beckham at first base. Stands filling up pretty well. A lot of people decided at the last moment to come out for this one because of all the rain. It didn't start clearing until about 5:45 local time. And game time was supposed to be at 6 o'clock. But as you may have noticed in the USA Today article today, attendance is down overall because we have extended the College World Series with the new schedule in the midweek. And it's just difficult for people to deal with 2 weekends, people that are out of town. And now with gas prices, you don't know how anybody gets here. And the cost of airline tickets as well.
Earlier I said Bryce Massinari reminds me of Mike Scioscia. The reason I did is because his teammates have been kidding him about a little weight he's gained. And Mike Scioscia was the only guy I knew that could catch a full season and gain weight. I think Bryce Massinari might be trying to do that with him.
He's listed at 215. Here's the throw. Beckham. Out. Trying to steal second base. Used to lose. They lost 8 of their first 12 to start the year. They lost their best pitcher to a fractured shoulder. They had to win their conference tournament just to make the NCAA field. Here they are playing for a national championship, the lowest seed in NCAA history in any sport ever to reach the championship round. A remarkable story. Bunch of good kids, well coached.
This guy carried him. The 2008 WAC Player of the Year, 2008 First Team All WAC.
Steve Susdorf.
He was the MVP of the WAC tournament. So when you got to win the tournament to actually get a bid,
yeah,
and you're the MVP of the tournament, like Gordon Beckham, this guy has carried the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Susdorf fooled on that last pitch. Phillies draft choice this year, chops this one outside first, and it is fair. Skipped right across the top of the bag, and Susdorf looks at the first base umpire as the ball went foul eventually, but it was past the bag. And they had to go through the toughest regional and super regional of any team in the country. Unranked when the season started, made the tournament by winning the WAC tournament, and then had to go through some great ball clubs in the regional and super regional, and have had their backs to the wall out here. Don't expect to see any quitting these guys, do you?
No, not at all. 4-0 in elimination games, and they're undefeated in effort.
Amati to deep right. Olsen goes back to the trap, couple of steps shy of the wall, and makes the catch for the second out. So Amati, who was hitting .412 in Omaha, denied a bid for extra bases on the long fly ball. And now Mendonça, who has been such a story at third base. Goodness gracious, what a defensive player he has been. And he's doing it with 4 dislocated fingers. And his throwing hand suffered at the regional. Golfs this one into center field and off the glove of Cerrone. That'll be a base hit for Mendonça. First of the ball game for Fresno State. Tammy and Ray love it.
That's a low fastball. He gets good aluminum on it. You know, good hustle. Look at the quick steps right there after the miss by Cerrone.
That still doesn't sound right.
Gets good aluminum on it. Get good composite on it.
Yeah. Mendoza at first, 2 out, and you saw Cerrone. I mean, he got there in plenty of time and dove and had it deflect off his glove. Now Ryan Overland. Good block in the dirt by Massineri.
Cerrone's approach on that ball reminded me of Jim Edmonds. And then the reaction after, kind of beating himself up and criticizing himself like, I should have got that ball.
Yeah, but Edmonds gets him.
Yeah, he does. Doesn't deflect off Edmonds' glove very
No, it
often.
doesn't. Straight away center field and deep, but Cerrone has a beat on it. And he forgot that was the 3rd out. Massineri will lead it off here in the 3rd. And Miller has been all over the place, trying to find the strike zone.
You talk about that 1.05 ERA back then.
1.50.
5-0. Well, Fresno State, even after yesterday's loss, still leads the tournament in pitching with a 3.98. So Mike Batesel has patched it together very well. And these young athletes have done an outstanding job pitching on fumes. Well, they might be down 4-0 and down 1-0, but we can say nothing but compliments about the way these guys have played and the guts they've shown.
Well, he admitted before the first game yesterday, he says our pitchers are out of gas. I mean, they had to use them up to get to the championship round, and you understand that you can't win it unless you get there. And then you just hope for the best, and right now they want to get through this game and win it, and then they would have a rested starter to begin game 3 tomorrow night. Massineri with a walk to lead off the inning, and now the bullpen will get active for Fresno State.
Well, the refreshing thing from Mike Batesel also is the way he's trying to protect these pitchers' arms. There's a lot of kids begging for the ball, but he's saying no because of the pitch count and the workload that they've been through.
Yeah. Cerrone already showing bunt. Pulls it back, takes a high breaking ball, and on that curve, not a lot of bite right now.
No, that is his best pitch. It's really a hard slider. It can look like a curve sometimes when he really gets through it and makes it break in a big way. But right now he's getting underneath it. It's just staying flat.
One ball, no strikes to Matt Cerrone. Checks the swing on a high fastball, 2-0. Cerrone was walked his first time up intentionally, and Joey Lewis made him pay for that strategy with a base hit to drive in 2. Cerrone showing bunt again. It's 3-0.
The Georgia team really looks like they're playing with a lot of urgency still. They're up 1-0. They got a 4-0 lead, and they're grinding it out. One of the things in the Super Regional and the regionals that they really had to fight was the party planners. When they got close to winning it and moving it on, Ryan Paisel there on the left and Gordon Beckham on the right have talked about it. We're not going to start planning any parties when we're 1 victory away, because that's something they ran into in the Super Regionals.
3-0, and Justin Miller has missed the strike zone with his first 7 pitches in this inning. That's a strike call. That one's out of the zone, and Miller has walked the first 2. Kyle, this young man struggling right now.
Yeah, he is. In between innings, they were trying to make a mechanical adjustment. Mike Maine, the pitching coach for Fresno State, went over to Miller and said, what we've got to work on right now is quieten that front side down. You can see that front shoulder that's really flying out. They were trying to focus on getting the arm angle up, slowing down that front side, and really allowing that ball to get back in the zone. You've seen so far in this inning, really the exact same things happen. That front side flies, that ball flies away arm side. And Oral, as you well know, if that front side goes too fast, that ball doesn't end up where you want it to.
Yeah, when you feel a little fatigued, you go for extra energy, and if the body goes fast and the arm goes slow, things are going to be up and flat. And that's what the high fastball and the flat slider right now.
They're trying to buy a little time right here.
For me, it's not always a mechanical fix as much as it's an energy fix.
Hope you'll stay tuned. In the next half inning, we'll have a special announcement from Lowe's regarding the 2008 Lowe's Senior Class Award winner. The award celebrates the loyalty of seniors who honor their 4-year commitment to their university. The Senior Class Award recognizes these student athletes for their great achievement during competition and in the classroom while staying in school. That's not something that's going to concern her for a while. She just wants to stay awake. Get to the 3rd inning, take a little nap. Big hitter here for Miller is Joey Lewis, who was already singled and driven into. Stands in. 2 runners on, nobody out. Georgia already up by 4. Breaking ball that's in there. Lewis came through with a shot to dead center that drove in 2. And gives him 7 runs driven into the College World Series. Pretty good for a guy who only drove in 38 all year. Swing and a miss here.
There was a little bite on a slider, actually got the ball down. Joey Lewis hit a high pitch his last at bat. You get the ball down, maybe get it hit on the ground, get yourself a double play. What I was talking about as far as not a mechanical adjustment, sometimes an energy adjustment. If you can just try and go at 80% instead of over trying because you feel tired, it'll bring the ball down. Almost like setting the metronome on the top of your piano at a little slower speed and just staying with that instead of trying to play the song too fast.
You play the piano?
No.
Okay. You got me. Joey Lewis strikes out. Well, whatever they did, whatever they talked to him about, he was able to execute there.
Gets through that breaking ball. It's got a little downward action. Instead of having your fingers behind the ball at release, you actually get your fingers to the top of the ball, makes the ball spin and go down with the correct trajectory.
Saxophone?
No instrument. Bad clarinet in 7th grade. Couldn't even suck on the reed the right way and get it to put it on the instrument to make it work.
It's because you weren't supposed to suck on the reed. You were supposed to make it vibrate.
No, you're supposed to moisten it before you put it on your horn.
Of course you are, but I played the clarinet and saxophone.
I would start chewing it. You know, I mean, it's like a piece of wood. It's like I couldn't just suck on the thing and then put it on the clarinet. And then to put the thing together in the 3 pieces, I keep bending the metal. So I'd have to go up there and I'd play with a clarinet that wasn't even lined up correctly.
He does not play an instrument. Thank God he could throw a baseball.
Well, I didn't want to play the instrument.
Bunt is popped up. You got to give Massineri some credit on that. Did you notice the way he went back to the bag? He was hesitating, trying to get in front of Amadi any way he could and distract him.
It's an infield fly rule, really. Because if that ball is hit off his chest, you could get a double play. The umpire should have called a quick infield fly rule, even though you can only hold your arm up for a half a beat. Or they could call him for a drop on purpose.
So Allen is up, or Allen is out, and Toms is up.
We'll have the head umpires up here in the booth next inning telling me how I was wrong on that one.
We'll have a music teacher. 2 on, 2 out. Miller trying to get out of another jam. He's been in one every inning of this game. Tom's hitting under 200, both on the season and here at the College World Series. 2 for 11 here. And they have after their regular second baseman was injured. And this line drive goes off Muno's glove, and that's going to get another run home, just barely out of his reach. The WAC freshman of the year went as high as he could, just couldn't pull it down, and Toms has an RBI single.
5'11", 170 pounds at shortstop. Got some ups, but just not enough. Middle infielders like to use a little shorter glove because they want to get the ball in and out. An outfielder's glove probably would have caught that ball.
And now we will have a pitching change. We'll check it out when we come back. It is 5-0 Georgia over Fresno State.
Pitched here at the College World Series. 4-pitch mix. Young man relies mostly on control. Thrusted into the starting rotation this year as a freshman and a sophomore. Was mainly in relief, but with some of the injuries to the Bulldogs, he's been a starter. But here he's back in the pen.
And Ryan Pizell is up for the third time in 3 innings and has 2 base hits to show for it already. Ball and a strike from Sprague to Pizell. Pizell is the guy who told us about the very difficult conditioning program this team went through to start the season. Said it really made a difference. Ball popped into foul territory and dropped by Overland. Had a shot at it. Amati was coming down from first, and the signs are not good for Fresno State. The little things are going wrong.
He did a real good job getting his mask off and leaving it by home plate. He comes over here and he just flat out misses it. That ball tails back towards the field. When it loses velocity, the spin takes over. Gordon Beckham wishing he dropped it. He gets a second life.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Fake to third, throw to first.
Here's Ryan Pizell at the plate. I said Gordon Beckham. Good looking third baseman. Looks like a good looking shortstop.
Be an error on the catcher to give Pizell another life. That ball breaks low. 2-2. Pizell will have a chance in professional baseball. 12th round draft choice. A lot of guys on both of these teams are going to have shots.
I think it's with the Colorado Rockies. You might get a major surprise out of this young man. The heart and soul we've seen him play with, and under pressure, his best of the year.
You could never underestimate leadership qualities either. He's got them. Here's the 3-2. Pulled the string on a breaking pitch and struck him out. My advice is never go into a restaurant that has a sign out front that says good eats. Or let Oral play the clarinet for you.
Oh, come on.
Bottom of the third. Fresno State would like to get something started, and they'll send up Steve Detweiler, the sophomore, for his first at bat. This kid has been in pain for 7 weeks because of a torn ligament in his thumb, and his coach says he has not complained once. Not once. Just played through it and played as hard as he can.
The doctor
Mike
told him
Bates's so proud of him.
it would require surgery to fix, but you can't hurt it any worse. It might be a little more complicated surgery, but if you want to play with it and you can deal with the pain.
When it hurts the worst, you see the grimace after that swing and a miss. Oh yeah. And all you can do is, if you want to play, is just suck it up and go back, grab the bat again. pops this one up on the right side. Poitras gives it a look. You know, one thing your teammates look at is guys like this.
Oh, yeah. You know, all he did last night with torn ligaments in his thumb, double and a home run.
And he goes after everything in the outfield.
And he was the one that was going to sacrifice bunt, pulled the bat back. Trevor Holder thought he's going to bunt the next pitch, laid it in there, and he planted in the left field bleachers.
2-2. Breaking pitch, line to left, base hit. Detweiler. He turns first. He was looking to take two if he could. Here's Aaron Andrews.
Mike, I'm joined right now by Gordon Beckham's mother, Sully, and we've been talking the whole series how Gordon, of course, made the final out his freshman year here at the College World Series in 2006. Take us through that. What was that whole experience, being the mom and dealing with your son?
It was a great experience for him to be a freshman, be able to even be at the World Series, but the way it ended was not the way I expected, and I ended up in the bathroom stall, locked up in the room locked in the stall for about 10 minutes. Got through with the tears, got out, and then I ended up taking Gordon to the beach for 3 days, and by the third day he was doing push-ups in front of the commercials on TV, so he was fine.
What kind of motivation did he use for those 2 years to get back here to the College World Series that you could see?
I think he's a real resilient player. He's always been a team player, and I feel like he took the loss. You know, especially the way he did, grounding it into a double play as a freshman. But he grew from that, and I think that it's developed him into a really fine player now.
We know your family has enjoyed the Georgia experience. Very superstitious. You will not find anything red on this woman because she believes that red causes bad luck. This will be the last time he wears a Georgia uniform here in Omaha. What's that like for you?
Well, it's good and it's bittersweet maybe, but I think this has been a great chapter in the book. We've had great coaching experiences for Gordon with Coach Fresno, and I do believe he's been a very lucky and blessed player. He's also very hardworking, and hopefully the next step in baseball will be good for him too.
Well, congratulations and enjoy that ride. And we were given, Mike, direct orders by Gordon himself. Don't talk to my dad. Talk to my mom. She's never given any credit. So we're giving Mom some love today. And
we understand that's a great way to do it. And we understand Mom was a varsity tennis player in high school. Gordon said Mom is also an athlete. That ball's down the line. If it stays fair, it's trouble and it's foul. Rivera, the number 9 hitter who homered the other night, turned on that one. Had enough distance, but just got the bat head out in front of it.
Detweiler and Rivera were a big part of the Bulldog offense last night. Actually, the part of the offense that led to the 6-3 lead. And here they might have been part of a comeback. It didn't hook that foul.
How about the 8-9 guys in this order? They made the most noise. Rivera hitting only .202, but here in Omaha he's hitting .308 and has driven in 4 and hit 2 of his 5 home runs. What a time to wake up as a hitter. He's a freshman from Fresno. Detweiler on first, a sophomore. So they'll be back next year. And I'll bet you anything Mike Batesel will continue to produce quality teams at Fresno State. Fastball struck him out. Good pitch by Montgomery.
He's so close to a 2-run jack, and then you get struck out, and there's some disappointment in that. Nick Montgomery comes back, makes a quality pitch on the outer half of the plate. You got to know Rivera was looking to pull another one down that line, but keep it fair. So you go fastball away, he pulls off it a little bit, you get the swing and a miss.
Fresno State needs to string some base hits or base runners any way they can get them together to mount a little rally. We're only in the third, but they are down 5-0. And with the way that pitching staff is being patchworked together, you might expect Georgia to score some more before this is over.
We talked about that production on the Fresno State team and where it comes from everywhere. 8th and 9th hitter. 7 guys, 10 home runs, 7 different guys.
Yep.
Everybody's chiming in here. It's not one guy's show.
Muno in a hole, 0-2. He walked his first time up. Up and in. Crowd sort of sitting on its hands so far. Just missed with a fastball. And again, Montgomery stares in. That's the second or third time. He has questioned the call with his eyes, at least. And he gets a steely look back.
Umpires will nickname pitchers like that surveyors. It's like they get their surveying equipment out.
Foul back.
We're going to line it up a little bit.
Well, they're talking about instant replay in baseball. I don't think you'll ever see it take over the strike zone. Runner goes. That ball was in the dirt, and they appeal to third. No, and Muno steals second base. Down 5-0.
Secondary lead. You see the ball in the dirt. As soon as it hits the dirt, you watch the trajectory from the pitcher, and Detweiler, he scoots on up there to second base.
Mike Batesel is out, and what we're told he is talking about is he doesn't like the way the pitcher is bringing his hands in the stretch, that he's not stopping. He's sort of pumping them.
He's bouncing them a la Louis Tiant. Louis Tiant bounced him all the way down until he came set at the bottom.
We used to have a problem out here. They called balks about every 10th pitch. Pretty tough.
They had a problem in the big leagues for a while there in the late 80s, I thought.
Detweiler gets the stolen base, and Muno draws the base on balls. To keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series information, log on to NCAA.com. It is the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Fresno State's only championship title, by the way, captured by the 1998 softball team. And they would like to double their total by winning tonight and tomorrow night. Hedstrom, who reached on a fielder's choice, now with 2 on and only 1 out.
He is not one of the 7 players that has one of the 10 home runs here at the College World Series, 7 on the year. So if one of the other tentacles of this Fresno State Bulldog team is going to step up in the power department, an opportune time to climb back into this game.
And he is certainly capable in big situations, a grand slam in the Super Regional. Boy, now Miller struggling with the strike zone a little bit. And the 1, 2, 3 hitters in this lineup have just failed. There's no other way to put it. 0 for 15 in their at-bats here in Omaha. I'm sorry, I said Montgomery is the pitcher who's had some trouble finding the strike zone in this inning, but the top of the order has really failed here for Fresno State, and they need better production to have a chance. If we need the game, the NCAA College World Series will continue tomorrow night, presented on ESPN by Dick's Sporting Goods. ESPN at 7 Eastern. Number 8 Georgia will take on Fresno State in Game 3 of the best-of-3 finals. Join us for that. Fresno State hoping there is a Game 3, and Georgia just rather get it over with and go home.
We get to a Game 3 and Fresno State all of a sudden could get their pitching in order. And depending on who gets used in this game for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Dodson is warming, and Dave Perno made a point of it when we talked to him this morning. We don't want to let them hang around. We want to finish this tonight. Don't give them the opportunity to get their pitching back. This one is smoked through the hole. Will they send the runner? No. They're going to hold him. The bases will be loaded with 1 out. Hedstrom delivers. Whack that ball to left. These guys don't know how to quit. They never give up. They just keep fighting back. And Hedstrom that time, a nice swing.
You see all that buggy whip action early, but he gets the foot down, gets the bat in a hitting position, and launches it with free and easy hands. Got that thing right out front and smoked it.
A single, a walk, and another single. And it sets it up for Wetzel. And the crowd getting into it now. 5-0 ball game. This could be the moment for Fresno State. Can they push across some runs and start their comeback? In the dirt, gets away from the catcher. The first run is home. Detweiler scores from third on a wild pitch from Montgomery.
The breaking ball down there. Bryce Massineri just didn't get the tailgate down. He tried to glove it instead of blocking it, and it scooted on that damp home plate right between the wickets.
"24 wild pitches in 15 games. That's a record. Wetzel now with runners at second and third, 1 out.
Remember, Dave Perno had the decision to start Jake Crane behind the plate, who is really the designated catcher for Joshua Fields, the closer of the year. Decided to go with Bryce Massineri, who's been his catcher most of the year. Crane's a little better defensive catcher, stronger arm, a little more nimble behind the plate. Decided to stick with Bryce Massineri, hits more in the middle of the order.
They were a little concerned that the wear and tear 3 days in a row would be tough on Massineri, but decided to go in that direction anyway. With the weight he has gained, it just makes it tougher on his body.
And they don't usually play a lot of times 3 games in a row, and this team has had a lot of days off, so it's not like he's built up the endurance to catch day after day after day. They'd only playing like 11 games in the last 30 days total.
2 balls and a strike to Wetzel. Suzdorf is on deck, their most dangerous hitter. Got him to chase. That ball dropped off the table.
A little changeup right here, just kind of slips it right through. The ball continues to dive. Really dove on lack of velocity, not action. The trajectory was continuously downhill.
Wetzel 9 for 24 at the College World Series. He has hit well, and they need him right now. Ball 3.
He's got the WAC Player of the Year on deck, the guy who has carried him, just like his opposite number, Gordon Beckham, the shortstop for Georgia.
Coming into this game, Montgomery had only walked 16 in 60 2/3 innings, but his control is off here. (3-2) to Eric Wetzel. Fouled out of play.
He really want to trade an out for a run right here if you're Georgia. You don't really need an out where no run scores. I'll take 5-2, 2 outs, and a base open to possibly want to put Susdorf over there if I fall behind so he can't go deep on me. So you don't want to pitch to load the bases with 1 out and have Susdorf coming up. You need to throw strikes here, even if it trades an out for a run.
Yep. Another 3-2 to Wetzel. He missed. 2 walks in the inning by Montgomery. The bases are loaded again, and here comes Susdorf. He represents the tying run. And Montgomery has struggled here in the 3rd. Already up to 51 pitches. But far more than half have come in this inning. Susdorf grounded to first, his first time up. Has 1 home run, 3 doubles in the College World Series. He could tie it with 1 swing. 12 home runs, 3rd on the team. Takes that one low. Montgomery digging himself a deeper and deeper hole. Susdorf sitting on fastball right now.
They did a good job laying off that first pitch breaking ball. Nick Montgomery trying to feast on his aggressiveness, thinking he's going to try and put a crooked number on the board. Threw him a breaking ball that looked like a strike and ended up a ball, but Susdorf laid off. It was a good piece of hitting just on 1 pitch, that take.
That one's in there.
The same window right there that the breaking ball came out of, but this time it stayed fastball for a strike at the knees. 2 well executed pitches.
Susdorf not only an athletic All-American, an academic All-American. 4.0 in engineering. Tried to check his swing and did. 2 balls and a strike. He's ahead in the count, bases loaded, 1 out.
Susdorf is doing an outstanding job. You can see why he's the WAC player of the year. He's recognizing the spin on that slider early enough to hold up his swing twice. That's the difference between a top of the line player and just an average Division I player.
Outside and high. 3 balls and 1 strike, and Montgomery seeing that plate skip all over the place.
The tension's in the dugout, but the game's in balance on the field.
Amati is on deck. You see the sweat coming off of Montgomery's cap. Fastball, base hit. 2 runs are going to score, and it's an overthrow. And the catcher is hurt. Massineri twisted his ankle when he came down. He's up and limping, but Susdorf comes through with a 2 RBI single to right. And boy, you got to hand it to Fresno State.
But this kid is used to pressure. He's pitched at Turner Field against Georgia Tech with 19,000 people there and pitched some big games for Georgia.
Alan Amati will be the first batter he faces, and that's a called strike. If this scenario looks a little familiar to you, in Game 2 of the College World Series in 2006, Oregon State was down 5-0 to North Carolina in the 4th. Guess who won? Oregon State 11-7. They went on to win the College World Series. Way outside, a ball and a strike to Amati, who flew out to right his first time up. One team won the first game and lost the series since we went to a 3-game format, and that was North Carolina in 2006. The Heels, national runner-ups 2 years in a row. Knocked out this year just before that. Little looper to the first baseman, 2 out. Amati had that one fisted.
Well, that's a huge out. To not trade an out for a run to pull within 1. Fresno State will have some momentum after this inning, but they could look back on that at bat and losing that run for an out as the reason they lost by a whisker, possibly at the end.
Just hitting something on the ground gets you another run. Now it's up to Mendoza, who singled his first time up. That was the first hit of the ball game. But Dodson gets the first man he faces. Mendoza hitting .333 out here, 7 for 21. That thing is bombed. Holy cow. Holy cow. Guess who's got the lead? Cinderella is up 6-5. Boy, could she hit. What a turnaround. Both of these teams believe in each other, in their teammates and their coaching staff and their program so much. Mendoza has just been brilliant in this series. Just brilliant.
There's a few people that started watching this game that turned it off when Georgia went up 5-0 that are now in another ESPN station that are watching the ticker and have just tuned us back in.
And Matt Olson will try to answer for Georgia. They've been very good at this. I mean, think back to last night. They gave up 3 runs. Fresno State took the lead. Georgia responded, got it right back. And that's the way you answer.
3 out of 4 of their wins come from behind victories,
including their only 9th inning comeback of the entire year.
Late inning heroics have been a pattern here at this College World Series. So
Olson, Beckham, and Poitras, the heart of this order, 2, 3, and 4, to face Holden Sprague, who's another strike thrower. And right now he's behind in the count 3-1. I think outside of the Fresno State contingent, most of this crowd tonight is just slack-jawed over what just happened. Here's a drive to deep right center. And just off the top of the wall. That's going to be a stand-up double for Olson to start the 4th. He barely missed a home run. Hedstrom went back there, got to the track, but nothing he could do about it.
Olson gets all of this one, hits it to one of the deepest parts of the park. You see the fans almost reach over and interfere, but Mike Melee, the left field umpire, is out there hustling. He sees that the ball is still in play. They're not playing, but they still want to catch it.
Guy's upset, isn't he?
There's some grinders in the stands and on the field.
Now Beckham with a chance to drive in what would be the tying run. And with one more home run, Gordon Beckham would tie for the national lead. He now has 27. Matt Clark of LSU, who hit very well here in the College World Series for LSU, has 28. Beckham, who has been kidded about not having a home run in a while around the batting cage, smashed that one. It was 0-1 over the left field wall in the 8th. It got Georgia to within 1, and his play in the field kept Fresno State from scoring. He did what an All-American first-round draft choice is supposed to do. He came up big in the clutch.
He has all year for them. SEC Player of the Year. 8th overall pick by the Chicago White Sox. Quick hands, fast hips.
Beckham with a walk and a single. Now another single. And that's going to get the tying run home. Just like that, Georgia with the answer. Beckham with another base hit, another RBI.
Man on second, no outs, but one of the premier hitters in all of the NCAA this year. You let him loose. You don't make him hit the ball to the right side. You let him just hit. It's too early in the game to worry about just one run with his bat up there. He drives that ball up the middle, and mom, dad, and sis, they're fired up.
One of the things I really like about his at-bats is he has not gone up there swinging from his heels every time. He's trying to stay within himself, and he's delivered big base hits. Pitch out, thinking something might be happening with Poitras up there. What is usually happening with Poitras up there is just him getting base hits. 1 for 1 tonight, a walk. 7 for 15 in Omaha. He has just been on fire. So a disappointing inning for Sprague as he gives up the tying run immediately with a double and a single.
Well, all these pitchers are getting hit around, and both clubs are falling behind in the count. Nice little breaking ball to get back into the count right there. Little baby slider, control slider. If you're falling behind 2-0, you fall behind 3-1. You have to come in with an elevated strike. Expect the hitters at this level right now to make you pay.
High fastball is popped up behind the plate. Overland will get this one for the first out. If we need game 3 of the NCAA College World Series presented on ESPN by Dick's Sporting Goods, you'll see it on ESPN at 7 Eastern. Number 8 Georgia taking on Fresno State in the last game of the best of 3 series. Right now we are deadlocked at 6 here in the 4th inning. You had talked earlier about the value of taking a few miles an hour off your fastball and getting it in the strike zone. Isn't that what a lot of guys are trying to do when they want to get ahead in the count? Either a batting practice fastball or a get me over curveball to get ahead.
Well, what's the difference between throwing at 86 at the knees or 88 and throwing a ball? And your extra effort is only going to gain 2 to 3 miles an hour sometimes. So stay within yourself and throw that good quality strike. And if you throw it a little slower, fine, you might get them out in front and get the little ground ball, but you get ahead in the count, you get a quality pitch, you get one on an angle where it'll take a breaking ball now that as a good setup pitch.
Tough to teach though, isn't it?
That extra effort, harder is not always better.
Inside to Massineri, 1-1. Beckham still at first. Now 1 out. Massineri 0 for 1 with a walk, and his season's average at .333. He's a double play candidate if they can get him to hit it on the ground. Another throw over, trying to keep Beckham close. One of their best base runners, 17 steals and 19 attempts this year. Two balls and a strike.
Holden Sprague is doing a good job right here with his short-term thinking. He gave up the run, but he's still concentrating on the fact that I've got a runner at first. I know I'm disappointed I've given the lead up, but outs. We've got a chance to win a championship.
Another throw over. Well, there's a point, isn't there, where the hitter deserves most of your attention. There he goes, hit to short. Did not get the out at second, and the throw is wide at first. I think that was Muno's mistake. I don't think he had any chance to get the force at second.
Well, he does a job trying to get that runner at second. I think Eric Wetzel needs to know that the batter runner is Bryce Massaneri. He's not even in the pitcher. This is a catcher running. So you receive the ball at second in a manner which you can come across the bag and have an open throw to first with a slow runner. That way you stretch out towards your shortstop for the possible out from the umpire and have a clear path to the throw to first base. But he took it using the base as a guard and had the runner in his way.
That's a fielder's choice. And Cerrone is the hitter with 2 on. And now Beckham with that good speed at second base. Strike called to Cerrone.
Watch Eric Wetzel receive the throw from Muno. If he comes across the bag instead of using the bag as a guard. Now you see with that throw, even Muno's got to actually lead him to the inside part of the bag. I know you're trying for the quick out, or take your time and take that deep step back, the hop step back directly in line, let the runner get out of the way, and then throw the ball. You have a slow runner, and a little panic set in, not knowing the runner's speed from home to first.
Two on, 1 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cerrone, who is an obvious strikeout candidate, as we have seen out here in Omaha. Still, if I'm Muno on that last play, I'm thinking first base. I've got the easy out with Massaneri, but I understand your point. Your point is well taken.
No, I understand. Yeah, both places you had 50-50 shot of getting it right.
Yeah. Missed inside.
Now, if you're Fresno State, you don't get here as the Cinderella story with all the upsets that they've been through and not picked each other up. And this is where Holden Sprague is going to have to pick up his teammates. It's a big pitch right here in a big inning. He's going to have to blow his neck out there and bear down.
3-2 to Cerrone. 2 on, only 1 out. And this one will twist back in the stands down the left field line.
It just feels like we're going to have a seesaw battle tonight. No matter what the score is in the next 3 or 4 innings, something big is going to happen in the 8th and 9th.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And if it gets to the 9th, the Georgia Bulldogs have the best closer in the country.
And Fresno State Bulldogs have Brandon Burke, their closer down there, that wants a redeemer outing.
Yep. Sprague steps off. Pace of this game much more deliberate than last night. Struck him out to throw to third, got him. And you're right, usually when you get blocked you don't get the call at all. That time he was blocked and he got the call. Big break for Fresno State. That was ball 4. Had the bases loaded with 1 out. Instead, it's a strike him out, throw him out situation. And Detweiler will come up in the bottom half of the 4th for Fresno State. And a swing and a miss hurt that thumb again. See him flexing that hand. It just going to hurt every time. There's no way around it, and that's going to hurt too.
The last time we caught the face grimacing, he got a base hit. That's a tough young man who can block out the pain and still perform.
He led off the big 3rd inning with a single. Takes that one outside 2-2.
Well, they batted around when they got those 6 runs in the 3rd.
They did. Detweiler started the 3rd, now starting the 4th. And he hit that one foul, and it still hurt. Ray Lewis, the great linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, used to say, it's mind over matter. If I don't mind, it don't matter. And he played with pain his life. All the time he played with pain. The appeal to first? No, it's 3-2 to Detweiler.
The left hand. You think about 80% of the strength of your hands is coming from your thumb. When the thumb shuts down, that hand's not very strong.
Doesn't seem to bother him much, does it?
He's got to be hitting the ball with quickness of the hands, not the strength of the hands.
This kid is so tough. Time now for our Coke Zero game track. Detweiler with 2 singles in a row. Mendonça, the big blow, 2 for 2, has a 3-run homer. Susdorf has driven in 2. Poitras has driven in 2. We're in the 4th. We've already had 14 hits and 12 runs combined. Rivera. Now Fresno State with a chance to play small ball with the number 9 hitter in the order, a guy who was under or right at the Mendoza line of 200. Detweiler with 4 steals this year. He's 4 for 4. Takes his lead off first. Rivera showing no signs of bunting. He's got to just say, let's go up there and hack at
It's
it.
a productive side of their order.
Yes, it is.
They got 4 hits from the bottom 4 guys. They got 2 hits from the top 5.
That's a great point. Make it another one.
Make it 5 hits from the bottom 4.
Detweiler challenging the throw and will go into third. Detweiler is that aggressive kid who's going to take every chance you can take. Hedstrom saw he had him beat and made the throw into second.
Jordan Rivera, left-handed, little low ball stroke right up the middle. An aggressive base running again. We've seen that throughout this game. Ryan Pizell, who's the third baseman there, has been running the bases aggressively, and Steve Detweiler is going to slide headfirst on his torn cartilage of his left-hand thumb that's gotten him 2 hits tonight.
You know, if they get to a third game, you may see Rivera and Detweiler at the top of the order.
Don't leave their lucky places. Just wait for the rally.
This is remarkable stuff. Muno takes this one low.
It's the left hand, the left thumb. It's the one on our right.
This guy plays in pain, seems to hurt it all the time. He will not go in the dugout and say, boy, my thumb hurts. He'll just go in the dugout, and that's it.
It was amazing, the smiles from all his teammates and the coaching staff when he hit the home run last night. They know what he has gone through for them.
Dodson in a hole here, and Muno, gap shot, right center field. That'll get 2 runs home, and Muno motoring around second on the way to third. Triple. How about these kids?
They just keep coming. Not to be outdone by the bottom of the order, the top of the order responds. Freshman Danny Muno, the shortstop, hits a gapper. It's a triple. Outfield was playing shallow at 5'11", 170 pounds. You don't expect much power, but he doesn't hit it over his head. He hits it between them with a rocket.
Sophomore, freshmen have come through. And Fresno State, after being down 5-0, is up 8-6. Are you kidding me? Gavin Hedstrom stands in, and the Georgia fans are just awestruck by what has happened. I mean, this is slack-jaw time right here.
Yeah, it's just fantastic baseball. They just keep coming back at you, and they're giving us some of the best TV you're going to see for college baseball.
Swing and a miss. I'll be 100% honest with you. Georgia up 5-0. I thought we're done. We're done. They're going to win 2 in a row. Congratulations to Georgia. Hats off to Fresno State. But they're not having any of this. Georgia may still come back to win because they fought all year long.
Well, Georgia scored 10 against Stanford. Fresno State scored 17 against Rice. So there's offense in both of these clubs.
Last night they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Not tonight. They have made the most of their opportunities. And Dave Perno, I think it's going to be an injury visit as they want to look at Dodson. He motioned toward his back, but apparently said he's all right. And Harville, who pitched last night, is up.
Injury visit is a non-visit, so you don't have to remove your pitcher on the second visit because it doesn't count as a visit.
Right.
And you have to watch what you say when you're the trainer or the manager out there, because you can only talk about the health of the pitcher. You can't talk about anything strategy.
1-2 to Hedstrom, and he pops it up on the infield. And Dodson, the pitcher, called off by his first baseman. And there's 2 out. Poitras made the call and made the catch. Facing elimination, Fresno against San Diego. They won it 5-1. They faced Arizona State twice as an elimination game, won to 8-6 and 12-9. They faced the second national seed, North Carolina, here in the College World Series in an elimination game, and they won. They're facing another one here tonight. Hedstrom, after the pop-up for the first out of the inning, will get Wetzel at the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight.
Well, pretty soon the top of this order needs to produce. That was a bad pop-up there with nobody out and a man on third by Gavin Hedstrom. Danny Muno at third base has let his presence be known, and Steve Susdorf in the on-deck circle wants to get another chance. But the top of this order needs to start producing like the bottom of the order if they're going to turn this into a possible blowout and put Georgia on their heels.
Bottom of the order's been magnificent. You wouldn't think one guy's playing with one thumb and the other one's a 200 hitter. Two balls and a strike, and Dave Perno not happy with the calls from the home plate umpire.
Danny Muno at third has got to probably make the ball go through with the WAC player of the year on deck. Even with the infield in, you got to make this ball go through.
Chopped past the third baseman, but foul.
You don't want to take the bat out of Susdorf's hand in the on deck circle. You got the WAC player of the year, the guy who's carried you to this World Series. He's got a chance with a 2-run lead. Even if there's 2 out and a man on third, you can't run into an out here with a ground ball to an infield in.
Wetzel, who was 0 for 1 with a walk, has 9 hits in the College World Series and has driven in a couple. 2 more tonight for 4, and just off of Beckham's glove. So both teams have had a shortstop go up as high as he could and unable to pull in a line drive. That one results in a run.
Well, one shortstop's at 5'11", the other one's at a hair over 6 foot, and both get a deflection. That a little hanging slider, a little top spin on that drives it through Gordon Beckham.
Fresno State now with a 3-run lead, 9-6. Here's Susdorf with a hit his last time up. Snap throw to first.
Well, two good things happen there for Fresno State. Susdorf comes up and there's a man on first, so there's not a base open, and they drive in the run. And the third thing is they've got the hole over there for him with a man on first. So huge line drive deflection. You think about the couple breaks that the Fresno Bulldogs have gotten here with a called strike three, throw him out, borderline call, and now a deflection off the All-American shortstop's glove. What a turnaround.
And Fresno State now up by 3 here in the 4th and bidding for more. And I think the psyche of the Georgia team right now has just got to be, they're stunned by what has transpired.
They're stunned, but they will respond. This is a team that was 3-3 in the 7th yesterday. 6-3 they went down, and they come back in the bottom of the 8th, starting the inning at 6-3 and come out of the inning up 7-6.
These guys have believed in each other since the beginning of the year when nobody else did. Dave Perno believed in them, got them together, told them the way it was going to be and what kind of leadership he expected. He got it, and they have been sensational.
You know, to have a great champion, you have to have a great opponent. You know, where's Ali without Frazier? It's like two boxers going at each other, standing 8 counts, and they still keep coming at each other in slugfest.
1-1 to Susdorf. It doesn't mean much if you're beating the Little Sisters of the Poor.
I hope there's not a school named that.
Well, if there is, let's schedule it. Smoked foul. Well, Dodson hasn't exactly been a mystery since he came on. And Will Harville, the new pitcher, a junior from Smyrna, Georgia, his 2nd World Series appearance. And unusual to see a change in the middle of the same hitter.
Yeah, the line drive foul was enough evidence for Dave Perno, and then that breaking ball here proves him right. Little breaking ball for a strike. Will Harville only had a 1/3 of an inning pitched here at the College World Series.
Susdorf takes called strike 3 for the 2nd out. And Amati will come up with a runner at first and 2 gone. Nasty breaking ball from Harville.
A junior had a couple starts this year, 13 appearances. Amati leading this Fresno State Bulldog in average in the College World Series here. 0 for 2 tonight, but his bat has been hot.
And if he keeps it alive, Mendonça is next. That's the guy they want to see. That one ate up Pizell, got by his backhand. They'll have runners at 2nd and 3rd. As Amati comes through, that always seems to be the hardest part of this infield, except for the area right in front of the plate. It took a big chop. And Pizell, who was gloved virtually everything hit down to him in this College World Series, couldn't flag that one.
This field's been in outstanding condition. That's the first bad hop we've really seen. Remember, had a lot of rain here throughout the whole day. There could be some soft and hard spots on the infield. No fault of the grounds crew and the people here of Omaha. But a nice hop and another break for the Fresno State Bulldogs.
And they're going to walk Mendonça. They don't want any part of this kid. A single and a 3-run homer in 2 trips. And I don't blame him. I'd walk him too. Four home runs in the College World Series, and that ties a record. 11 RBI. Bases will be loaded. Here's Aaron Andrews.
Mike, you mentioned this Georgia dugout stunned. Well, I've been covering these guys for the past 2 weeks. This is the quietest I've ever heard this team in the past 2 weeks. But Dave Perno, their head coach, told us this team is the best big game team I have ever coached in my career. He said they always come up in the big time situations. Of course, we've seen that. This team, they're also a rah-rah team. They're all about cheering and screaming for each other. I haven't heard that in the last 10 minutes. I heard Steven Dotson throwing his stuff around in the clubhouse, and that was it.
Well, Aaron, it is so tough to be in a situation emotionally that they're in. I mean, they had won the first game, come from behind last night. Now they're up 5-0 in this game. They've got the pitching advantage. And lo and behold, Fresno State comes back to take the lead. It's just got to stun you, at least temporarily. And now they have to get this batter, Overland, with the bases loaded. Otherwise, Fresno State adds to its advantage and digs a deeper hole for the Georgia Bulldogs. First 2 innings, 1 hit, nothing on the scoreboard. Since then, 9 hits, 9 runs. We're only in the 4th. They've exploded in the 3rd and 4th inning. Overland skies to left. No man's land, the ball drops. Allen coming in, Beckham going back, and Allen just never got there. That looked like an easy out.
Well, there was a little assume on the effort right there. You think it's too shallow. Maybe the shortstop's going to get it. Oh, he actually broke back.
He did.
And took a false step back.
And then he wasn't exactly going full tilt coming in.
Back and a delay, and that's tough. And then he's like, I got a late break. Maybe Gordon will get it, and it falls between them.
Can't think maybe.
No, the intentional walk, you move from Mendoza at 11 RBIs to Overland with 1 RBI, and he picks up 2 on a blooper.
Boy, when all the signs were positive for Georgia, they have now turned negative. It is 11-6. Fresno State. And if you're wearing a lot of red, you're in a funk right now. Overland gets a couple of RBIs. And Detweiler, the number 8 hitter, who was 2 for 2. And with Overland's base hit, every Fresno State batter has a hit in this ballgame.
And they've now batted around for the 2nd inning in a row.
That is just remarkable for this ball club. And Overland is going to come out of the ball game, and Blake Amador will be the pitch runner for him. So we'll have a catching change. And now Detweiler with 1st and 3rd occupied. Breaking ball is in there from Harville. Well, Harville should be out of the inning. There was no way that last ball should drop. And Lyle Allen has a reputation as an outstanding defensive outfielder. And just a lapse there, and it cost him 2 runs. This one's down the left field line. Pizell gives chase along with Beckham. And the Georgia Bulldogs have to get their mind back on the game before it's gone.
Yeah, they've had some tough relief work here from strike throwers, and the Fresno State Bulldogs have capitalized. Their bottom of the order continues to set the table and drive runs in. Now the top of the order got involved, and they've hit around twice.
Georgia.
You know, and I don't think there is any quit in Georgia either, because 3 of their 4 victories are come from behind.
Danny Grubb is the new catcher, an excellent defensive backstop. He's in there to catch Holden Sprague as we go to the 5th.
Sometimes that's not a bad idea when there's been a lot of offense. Get some fresh fingers back there and a new look. He is not feeling bad about his pitch calling, and he's got a fresh look at these Georgia hitters, and he might have some new ideas and come up with some new sequences.
Joey Lewis leads it off for Georgia. The 7, 8, 9 men in the order scheduled to hit here. Lewis fouls it back on the screen. He was hit by a pitch and popped up so far in this game. Lewis from Fayetteville, Georgia, a sophomore. He was 6 for 14 here in Omaha and driven in 5 from the 7th spot in the order. So he's had a great World Series. Ball and 2 strikes to him. Strike 3 called. You can keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series information by logging on to NCAA.com. It's the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. And Holden Sprague, who has won 5 games this year, has been staked to a 5-run lead in the 5th. And this will be the essence of a guy being a strike thrower. You just don't walk anybody. You just keep throwing strikes and let your defense play behind you.
Work quick, throw strikes, and don't set the table.
And if you can get them to hit it to third base,
they're
out.
Give up 1 run an inning and get to your closer. You still give them a 2 or 3 run lead.
Hit to deep center. Hedstrom going back and will make the catch 1 out. Make it 2 out. Lyle Allen records that fly ball.
This game is still in the balance. This reminds me of an American League game in the big leagues where you're going to give up runs, but you can't give up, because there's going to be an opportunity during this game for Georgia to pull close again. Fresno State is just going to have to hold them down.
David Toms will bat with 2 out and nobody on here in the Georgia 5th. He's out of Watkinsville, Georgia, and played earlier at Chipola Junior College. A very good athletic junior college, very good program.
We've had 19 hits in these first 4 innings. Georgia hitting in the top of the 5th. You can't imagine that the second half of this game there's not going to be some hitting and Georgia's not going to get some of it.
No, I think we'll be here for a while.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a nice game, and I think we're going to see some more crooked numbers.
11 runs on 11 hits. And this is after they were down 5-0. It's a heck of a job. A screaming line drive, just foul. Mendonça with the dive.
That ball was by Bill Speck, the third base umpire, and he gave way to the left field umpire Mitch Melee to make the call. That was right on top of him, avoiding it. It would have been his call without the extra umpires, but in the finals here we have 6 instead of 4.
It's about the only ball that's gotten by Mendonça in a week. And if it was fair, he'd have had it. What a great defensive third baseman. I think he may have hurt his hand a little bit on that dive.
He's got the dislocated fingers that happened in the regional 4. He dislocated on his throwing hand. So when you watch him throw, when he pushes the ball out, he's using a lot of palm on the ball when he throws it right now. It's like, come on back, feeling, please come back.
It's not going to feel good for a while. Drilled to straightaway center field. Base hit on 1 hop to Hedstrom. A 2-out single by David Toms gets us back to the top of the order for Pizell, who was 2 for 3 tonight. And been a star out here, hitting 10 for 21. Pretty good numbers under pressure.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Sprague gets ahead in the count, 0-1. Back up the middle and through for a base hit. Toms will hold at second. So after 2 outs, consecutive singles, and hitting the ball back up the middle is a great thought for Georgia right now. You need base runners.
Well, we talked about 19 hits through the first half of the game. We're not through this half inning. We're up to 21 already before the 3rd out in the top of the 5th.
This is Olson, who doubled his last time up. Got his first hit of the night.
Well, the table will be set tonight the rest of the way. We'll just see who wants to eat.
I'm in.
We're going to need a meal.
Maybe 2.
Is there a halftime in this game?
I didn't pack a lunch. Is this going to be on you?
The meal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have 2 hot dogs, please.
You got it.
Breaking ball in there for a 1-1 count to Matt Olson. With Pizell and Toms aboard. 2 gone here in the Georgia 5th. It's a big situation. A single gets another run home. And would get them within a grand slam, which is the minimum you want to be going into the late innings.
And that 4th run is always considered the manager's or the head coach's run. Really the 5th.
Popped up to left. Susdorf toward the line. He'll make the catch.
Every pitch. Speed of game slows down a little bit. Coach Jim Morris of Miami will not do that anymore because he thought the games were getting entirely too long. From one chart to another.
With that. Rivera, the bottom of the order, but that hasn't mattered in the last couple of nights. The bottom of the order have been the guys that did the damage. Rivera 1 for 2 tonight. You see he had some power in high school, set a team record with 13 home runs. Has 5 in his freshman year, and 2 of those have come out here in Omaha. So he is finally finding his stroke on the biggest stage a college baseball player can see. Just ticks that one foul as he leads off the home half of the 5th.
You know, Mike, when I was the pitching coach for the Texas Rangers for 3.5 years, we gave some signs every once in a while, and they were always suggestions. You know, it was Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate or whoever it was, because you could see front to back with a hitter's contact area, which the catcher can't see, but I couldn't see in and out.
Right.
So sometimes every once in a while the pitcher from the mound or the catcher would glance over, and we had signs to give suggestions, but not on a pitch-by-pitch basis. And I always thought it was very, very hard to call certain pitches at certain times because I would just kind of give the contact position of the foul ball, like, oh, he was out in front or he was behind, but you don't know if that ball was in or out, and then to call a pitch after that information is sometimes hard.
Full count after that one's in the dirt.
It takes a little longer for the professional ranks to train catchers because of all this information and kind of having their catchers on a leash at the college level. And that wristband there represents a leash for that bulldog.
Everybody you talk to says the pitcher always has the right to shake it off, but they will also say after several shakeoffs that pretty much goes away.
Well, yeah, if you're getting hit and you've been shaken off, pretty soon you will lose your privilege to shake your head left and right.
Rivera will lead it off with a walk, and the last thing Harville wanted to do was walk the number 9 guy in the order, whether he's been hitting the ball well or not. And now Muno, who tripled his last time up, shows bunt. Every run that they can get into scoring position, perhaps push across, is that much of a bigger hole for Georgia to have to crawl out of.
You know, to finish up on that shaking off, I never like to shake my head, because why do I want to shake my head and rattle my eyes right before I've got to throw a pitch that I've just visualized and concentrated to execute? So what I would do is stare at the catcher until he got to the right sign. So I'm staring and I'm visualizing the pitch I want, and then once I get the pitch I want, I start my motion and he knows that was the pitch. So there was always a delay in my signs as they went down between the catcher's thighs, and then I would go. I didn't like to shake my head back and forth. It rattled my eyes, and I didn't want anything, a negative stimulus before I threw a pitch that I wanted to execute positively.
Well, you figured this out a long time ago, didn't you?
No. I just like to stare.
No, I think this was all planned, and that's what made you beyond your physical abilities, was your mental abilities to play this game. That one's into the gap in the left center. Rivera on his way to third. And we've seen some aggressive base running. These guys read base hits very, very well. And Rivera gets to third on the single left center.
Well, aggressive base running continues to be the theme, and when you've had 22 hits in a game, you get to watch a lot of base runners, and they're all excited because we've had some run scoring. So there's hustle and there's extra bags being taken.
Muno with 2 walks and 2 base hits tonight, and now Hedstrom with a chance to add to this total. He singled in the third, so he's 1 for 3. To the gap in left center. He'll be into second. 1 run scores. Runners at second and third. And the hit parade for Fresno State continues. And these balls have been smoked, Doral.
High fastball again. Fall behind in the count or even in the count. You cannot elevate. A ball elevated is able to be hit in the air, and a lot worse things can happen when a ball's hit in the air than on the ground. And the Fresno State Bulldogs continue to pound out the hits.
They were supposed to be the team that was in trouble as far as their pitchers were concerned. Again, trying to piece together a quality start out of several guys. It's been the other way around. And now Wetzel with runners at second and third. And still nobody out here in the 5th.
Well, there's a lot of different little undercurrents that are created if this ends up being a win for the Fresno State Bulldogs. What they did in game 1 of coming back but not being able to finish it off because their closer blows it, but then responding to that big loss. Mike Betzel told us how bad they felt, but how much they would show up today. And if they can pull off this win tonight, that puts Georgia back on their heels.
Knows his team very well, doesn't it? We invite you to stay tuned at the end of this inning. One of the best stories out here at the College World Series is with this hitter, Eric Wetzel. His father here tonight, and we'll hear about that story at the end of this half inning. Kyle Peterson down there with him standing by for that, but Wetzel trying to delay it. Run will score. Wetzel will get an RBI, the first out of the inning, on a ground out. And Muno will score from third.
You know, when we get to meet with these young fellas before the game early in the morning, we met with the Fresno State Bulldogs and we asked them, when did you guys start believing you could pull this off? You think it was after a win, or after the second win, or after they faced elimination and came through? No, the second inning here against Rice, against Ryan Berry, one of the better starters in the NCAA. They get 17 runs in that game. They get 4 in the second. Rice had a 3.63 ERA. They were 5th in the country. And these Fresno State Bulldogs put 17 up on them. And they said that's when we started to believe that this might happen.
And they knew how good Berry was. And of course, an old rival as Rice moved out of their conference but they were used to playing several times against the Owls. Susdorf 1-1. Still only one out, and a runner at second. And Susdorf gets into another one. Home run for Steve Susdorf. Holy cow, they are just pounding Georgia's pitcher. Susdorf, his 13th home run, his second here in Omaha. One of the reasons he was the WAC Player of the Year.
Sweet swing, hits off a firm front side, gets that back hip through, so you know there was great rotation through the ball. You know what? There's smiles on Susdorf's face, but there's a lot of tenacity on everybody else. It's like a game focus still. When something positive happens, it's not all about cheering on that side. It's about almost like a bulldog-like focus. That it's like the goal's within sight still, guys.
From down by 5 to up by 9 in the 5th. Now Motti with a chance to hit, bases empty, still only one out here in the 5th inning. That one is skied to shallow right center. And coming on and still coming on was Olson to make the catch. That one almost dropped. 12 home runs for Fresno State in the College World Series. That leads the field. And they've been hit by 7 different players. What a power explosion for this ball club.
Give one home run to just the 7 guys, and they still lead by 1.
Yeah, that's right. And Mendoza, who had the big hit of this game, a 3-run blast, hits a screamer to Poitras, nearly takes him into right field with it. Bad hitting luck for Mendoza, but that's about the only thing that's gone wrong in the last 3 innings for this club. They continue to add to their lead. Last 3 innings, 15 runs, 13 hits for Fresno State. Since 2006, David Wetzel has played the role of both father and mother to his son Eric.
She passed away a week before school started, my sophomore year, from cancer. I knew that she didn't have much longer to go, so I was just thrilled to see her there every day. I'm not a home run hitter, but it was pretty awesome, letting her see that. And I was glad I was able to get it off before the season ended, because that was going to be the last game she'd be able to watch.
Dave Wetzel just saw the piece on you and your son and everything that you went through back in that 06 season. Your wife was diagnosed in 05, Kathy. In 06, you told me you sold your business to buy an RV so you could follow Eric around that year. Just tell me about that year and that experience.
Well, when Kathy was diagnosed with cancer, she wanted to spend her time with, having good quality time, watching her boy play baseball. And we decided to buy the motorhome and travel around and see Eric play baseball. And she stayed, she watched him all the way through to the regionals in Fullerton in 06, and got to see him hit his first home run in the regionals.
We last talked on Father's Day about a week and a half ago, and it's been quite a run since then. What's this experience been like for you and Eric here in Omaha?
This is absolutely incredible. The Bulldogs have been just unbelievable. Eric did a newspaper piece where he had mentioned that, at one time he told his mom he wanted to play in the College World Series, and he said it'd be really neat. And he never thought he'd be there. And the other day he said, you know what, somebody's up there pulling some strings for him, and he said he thinks mom's up there making some deals.
Well, Dave, it's been a joy getting to know you and your son. It's been a great run so far. It's been a blast watching. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mike.
Well, Kyle, it's got to be an awful hard thing for them to talk about, but what an experience they're having together here. And you're right, they got to be looking up every once in a while saying, yeah, I know you're there and you're helping as much as you can.
What a blessing To be able to enjoy her days and follow her son around and see him play ball.
Yep. Beckham trying to get something started, but knocks it down to Mendonça, which is the wrong place to hit it if you want to get on base. Quickly one out here in the 6th. Guy's a vacuum cleaner down there at third base. Well, even if they stay in this funk for the rest of the ball game, they'll get over it by tomorrow. This is a very resilient group of people.
Yeah, both clubs. And David Perno, the head coach at Georgia, will have his troops ready. He has done an unbelievable job with this club throughout this year and the last few years.
It was his focus after the horrible disappointment of last year. They had been to the College World Series, fell off to 23-33. No team has ever had a losing record and come back and won the College World Series, but that was their goal. He changed his philosophy a little bit and told them, you know, the stuff that happened last year when different people had different agendas, not going to happen again. We're going to come out, have a tough training session to start camp. We're going to get some leadership out of the seniors. We're going to get great play out of the juniors like Gordon Beckham, and they did. They all pulled together, and here they are in Omaha. And even if they lose this game, and they have been racked up pretty good, it's still 1-1, and they'll go to a deciding game tomorrow night, and they're probably not done in this one either.
I don't think they're done in this one yet at all.
Poitras with another hit. Aaron, what do you have?
Well, we mentioned all the stuff that Dave Perno did after that rough year in 2007. Of course, we've been talking about the scrimmages that they had, how hard the conditioning was. Some of the guys said it was almost military style. And he's also a huge history buff, and he's been talking throughout these College World Series about just numbers that add up and, you know, statistics. And today he told me the exact thing that you just said, Mike. No team, you know, that wasn't in the NCAA tournament has never come back to win the College World Series, and he told his team that on the bus last night. But he also did, as you guys mentioned earlier, tell us we've got to win this tonight because we cannot give this Fresno State team an edge. He's been walking up and down the dugout just telling them to relax, but it'll be interesting to see how they respond if they have to play again tomorrow.
Well, you're right, Aaron, because he did emphasize the fact that we don't want to let these guys hang around. When you get somebody down, you don't want to give them another chance. You want to put them away while you have the opportunity, particularly because they've had to piece together a pitching staff to play the first 2 games of the series. Tomorrow night, the pitching advantage would go back to Fresno State.
Well, at least even the equation, because they would have a rested starter, and so would Georgia.
Still, to me, the pitching advantage comes down. If you're even or ahead in the 9th inning for Georgia, you have the lights out closer who could just shut the door.
And Justin Wilson would be on the mound, and Joshua Fields would close out one of the games for Georgia if they can get to that point. Joshua Fields, the closer of the year in the NCAA.
Back up the middle, speared at short, could be 2, and it is. What a play by Muno. Justin Grimm making his 16th appearance is the new pitcher. Jake Crane will catch him as the new catcher. Came out of high school as a 13th round pick of the Red Sox in the 2007 Major League Draft. Decided to come to college instead. And there is Jake Crane. We have seen him in catching situations for the closer Joshua Fields.
Foul ball.
Check swing foul to Cerrone.
Well, Justin Grimm is a freshman. He's a big-time prospect. He turned down 6 figures from Boston to come to the University of Georgia. His fastball top out at 93, and he has shown flashes this year of putting it together. By the time he's a junior, you're probably going to have somebody that's going to be a very high draft pick. Well, I said 93. Well, that topped out at 95. He's a little juice pitching here in the College World Series.
Danny Grubb, the leadoff hitter, called out on strikes here in the 6th.
Quick arm, over the top delivery. He's going to hide the ball very well, and at 95 he's going to have a shot at getting a lot of people out next year. You might see him in this Georgia rotation.
And this is going to be valuable experience for him as well. Detweiler again, that dangerous bottom of the order. One ball, 2 strikes. Ooh. Struck him out with a curveball, 2 gone.
I remember this name, Justin Grimm. 95 miles an hour, 78-mile-an-hour hook. He reminds me a little bit of Joshua Fields, the closer for Georgia, who will top out at 98 and has an 82-mile-an-hour hammer. Joshua's probably going to be a setup man or a big league closer. 18 for 18 this year. And he may end up being the last man standing for the Georgia Bulldogs if they win this thing someday as far as getting the final out.
Rivera, nobody on, 2 out here in the 6th.
With Justin Grimm on the mound right now, the scouts are watching for sure.
When it looks like he's got some growing to do as well. Only 170 pounds on the 6'4" frame.
Yeah, narrow hips and broad shoulders. One of the great things about broad shoulders, it gives you big breaks, which allows your arm to stay healthy because it can decel it.
Slapped foul. The Georgia bullpen, which was lights out the first 2 games, they combined 11 innings and just shut people down. Since then, they have struggled, giving up 20 runs as opposed to 1. Just a little bit outside.
Until Justin Grimm came in the game, the 3 Georgia pitchers each gave up 5 runs. So the Fresno State Bulldogs were not prejudiced against who they hit. This one just slips out of his hand, and it was hard, but we're going to have to work on location.
Almost hit the bull. And the home plate umpire is going to walk this one out.
He's giving Jake Crane, the catcher, a little time to shake off that last ball in the dirt that deflected off his body. And it's throwing it downhill, but it's a little short of 60 feet 6 inches, about 59 feet.
That one's tipped foul out of the catcher's glove. And Jake Crane behind the plate has gone from trying to reach one that was up about 9 feet to trying to avoid getting splattered by one in the dirt. Three balls and 2 strikes to Rivera. Fastball slapped the other way, base hit. Well, apparently this young man doesn't realize he's supposed to act like a 200 hitter out here because he's not.
That's a low fastball. He just kind of gives a little short, choppy swing, just tries to put it in play. Protection swing and finds himself a hole. 3 hopper through the 6 hole.
He has 2 hits and a walk to his credit tonight. Now back to the top of the order for Muno, who has been sensational. Right at the second baseman. And Toms will get the force. And we're into the Georgia 7th. Cerrone will lead it off. And time getting short down this much. 9 runs down, 9 outs left. And this is doing wonders for Fresno State's pitch. as Cerrone is hit by that pitch and is less than happy about it. But Cerrone certainly can't think that Sprague is throwing at him, no matter how much you don't like being hit. And that one caught him right above that shin guard. Robbie O'Brien will come on as the pinch hitter for Lewis. And for more on Cerrone, let's check in with Aaron.
Hey, Mike, you know, we talked about Cerrone and just his personality. We saw his antics in the dugout when he struck out 5 times. Couldn't blame him for kicking a cooler. Dave Perno was kind of joking around with us, talking about how into his at-bats he gets. There was a game this season when the bat accidentally hit the ump. And when the ump finally looked up at Cerrone, he just said, "What are you looking at?" Because he gets so into his at-bat. So, no, he doesn't have hate for people. He just, you know, loses his concentration a bit and gets so into the at-bat that he kind of loses his mind, if you will.
That's a pretty good description, I guess. When your bat hits the umpire and you look down at him and say, "What are you looking at?" That's pretty good. O'Brien, the pinch hitter, with Cerrone at first. That one cuts inside from Holden Sprague. Lewis leaves the game 1 for 3 on the night. O'Brien, a redshirt freshman, very unusual in college baseball, and he singles to right. Cerrone will hold at second. Now let's take a look at our Home Depot coaching clinic. Here's Oral.
You know, we've seen some great third base play here, and one of the keys to third base play of the quick first step is not to take a false step, because the way to gain range, Ryan Pizell does it very well. You take your feet, and from where your feet are, instead of taking your first step here, you immediately go to a crossover and you gain 4 or 5 feet instead of just 1 foot. Take a look at the video and see how Ryan Pizell gets that step. He crosses over immediately. There's no false step, so you gain a lot of range. See the crossover automatically, you gain it. So when you turn your body and immediately cross over, that's a 4-foot gain instead of a 1-foot gain with a jab step.
Technique so important. Teaching so important to be able to play the game at your best. And that was a good catch you made when we were talking about doing teaching clinic, because you not only increase your range, but it cuts down on the saves you half a second. You can get to more balls, and the quicker you get there, the more time you have to make a throw. Adam Fuller lines it into the right field stands. He's the pinch hitter for Lyle Allen.
You not only can use that technique as an infielder or an outfielder, but you can use it as a base runner. Instead of going to second base when you're stealing a base with your lead foot, you go with your back foot and cross over immediately.
Taps this one foul. It's 0-2 to Fuller, who's only a 173 hitter this year, transferred from Andrew College, and he is from Midland, Georgia. Fuller trying to do a little damage here with 2 on and nobody out. Chops this one deep and through into left field. And this is going to get a run home. So Georgia gets Cerrone on as a hit batter, and then 2 pinch hitters deliver consecutively.
It just gets out in the little front. He's really full, but he happens to find a hole, and good things happen when you put it in play. Just out of the reach of Muno.
Now, these balls not hit hard enough to draw a welt, but they count.
They sure do.
And now Tom's, and then we'll go back to the top of the order. If you're a Georgia fan and you have that tingling feeling that it might not be over yet, well, it might not be. Toms to center, base hit. You're going to hold a runner at third. The bases are loaded, and all Georgia needs to do right now, play station to station just keep getting base hits.
Do Fresno State and Georgia play football this year? Because this game might be higher scoring than that one.
Well, Sprague has been roughed up here. Hit a batter, given up 3 straight singles. Last one was the only one that was hit hard. But now here's Pizell with the bases loaded. One swing of the bat, he could make this a 4-run game. And Pizell has 12 home runs. Eight runs is a huge hill to climb, but Olson and Beckham would be next. And the hill doesn't look quite as intimidating if you can get Beckham up with the bases loaded. A seldom used right-hander, a senior from Roseville, California, who's been in 14 games but hasn't pitched in over a month.
You know, you see the ERA at 6.95, and that is not a misprint. But yesterday, these guys rose to the occasion. They had guys on the mound from 6.75 higher that threw a combined quality start against this Georgia team. So people have risen to the occasion. Even guys on 37 days rest are called upon.
What a big situation he finds himself in. College World Series, elimination game for you. Bases loaded. Now he's in a 3-run hole to Pizell, the leadoff hitter, with the heart of the order on deck. Took something off and got him. I think he took something off and got him at 85 miles an hour.
Well, we're not at a point where Fresno State can trade outs for runs yet, but they've got 9 outs to go with an 8-run lead.
3-2, chopped foul.
These guys all performed well last night. A combined quality start. Take a look at those ERAs. And Brandon Burke is the closer that gave up the 3-run lead at the end.
Another 3-2 in the zone, fouled away. Well, he's doing what he needs to do right now. Put it in there and see if they can hit it. Bone Steele, the starter last night, is one of the men warming in the Fresno State bullpen. Struck him out. Hello.
There's 14 walks in 22 innings. He's got 11 Ks also. Fastball tailing up and in at 85 miles an hour, and it's a blue bayou.
Pizell is gone. Bases still loaded now. 1 out for Olson. Beckham, the All-American, the 400 hitters on deck. Chopped down to first. They'll go to second. That's a dangerous, dangerous play by Amati. All he had to do was take the easy one. Instead, he hits the runner. Would have been 2 outs. A run would have scored. Run's going to score anyway. And Amati with a mental mistake.
Well, the second play like this is borderline call. This one's not borderline at all. With an 8-run lead, you take the out at first. You give up that run. That run means nothing. The second time the Fresno State Bulldogs have kind of gone for an unconventional out and failed. It doesn't hurt right now, but it could hurt in the end.
And really, if you're going to make that throw from first, you have to make it to the outfield side from where he was positioned instead of throwing it right at the bag. Now, here is the All-American, guy who can change the score in a heartbeat with a bomb. And it's 15-8. That'll get the juices flowing in the Georgia dugout.
Well, he got their juices flowing last night. They were down by 3, and he had a 2-run bomb after a scratch single to pull him within 1. He can't get him within 1, but he can get him some hope right here.
He is 1 off the national lead in home runs. Gordon Beckham with 27 on the season. the leader. Matt Clark of LSU has 28. Boy, and that was framed by Danny Grubb. They really wanted that call. Hauer thought he got one in there. Now 3-1. No place to put him. Popped up. That's going to reach the stands. 3-2. Beckham last night got all of that one. And with one swing, he can really cut into this lead. And for Hauer, you got to throw him something to hit. Instead, he walked him. So Beckham drives in a run with a walk. Bases are still loaded. (15-9), and Mike Batesel is going to come out and make another change. Well, we said this has been such an advantage for Fresno State's pitching staff tonight, but that's pretty much gone now. Well, maybe he's not going to make a change. Well, he's got Bone Steel down there. Bone Steel pitched last night. If he pitches tonight, he's probably done for the series.
I think it's going to be Tomlinson if he makes a move, but he's not going to make a move right now.
Tomlinson is a terrific lefty against lefty.
There are different ways to use pitchers up. One is to bring them in the game and use them. Others are to have them warming up and thinking they're going in, and the adrenaline they get in those last 7 or 8 pitches before they think they're coming in, they start to spend the energy and the bullets. And so multiple ups is just as much wear and tear sometimes as pitching in a game.
Crunched to dead center field. Hedstrom back near the track will make the catch. That will get a run home. But he put a charge into it.
He put a charge into it, but remember the ground ball to first. That could have been the 3rd out now. They'd be in the dugout with a 5-run, well, it'll be a 6-run lead because that wouldn't have scored a run. Instead, they're still on the field. And this is a 5-run game.
4 in the inning. 2 outs now. Runners at first and second. They have batted around, and here's Massineri. And Jacob Hauer had to have his heart in his throat when that one left the bat, thinking, uh-oh. But Hedstrom, the converted shortstop, able to chase it down in deep right center. Foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike to Massineri. Well, if you like offense, you have to have enjoyed this one. Excuse me, Crane. Up the middle, the shortstop, Nuno charges and throws across. Got him for not taking the sure thing and then making a bad throw on top of it that hit the runner.
When you have a group of guys that plays as hard every single out as the Fresno State Bulldogs, sometimes when they don't make the right play, you get a little volcanic explosion. Because that same intensity goes into the concentration of the moment by moment.
You saw the new left fielder, Fuller, who came on as a pinch hitter. And now Hedstrom leads off the 7th inning for Fresno State, which has a little more pressure on after giving up some runs and cutting it to a 5-run lead. Breaking pitch fouled off by Hedstrom. He doubled his last time up. Had a single earlier in the ballgame. He's 2 for 4. And Fields is up. And that one got him on the hand. When you hate to see a guy hitting a hand, there are just so many small bones in there that can be damaged. And that's going to sting like the devil.
Tried to check his swing, but then gets the hands a little too low, gets him in there where that ball flight catches him. They got enough hand problems over there with Fresno State. Detweiler and right, the cartilage or the torn tendon in his thumb, dislocations at third.
Kyle Peterson down working the dugout. What do you have, Kyle?
Guys, I'm sitting with Paul Adwick, who's one of the associate ADs at Fresno State, and he was telling me about a little apparel shop on campus. It's run by the athletic department. It's called the Bulldog Shop, and on a normal June day, they'll do about $2,000 in sales. Well, since this Fresno State run has been going, the last 5 days, each of those days, they've done over $10,000 a day in sales.
Ooh.
2 of those days, they've done $17,000 in sales. So I mean, we've talked about how big this is to communities when teams get out here, but you can see just how the entire city of Fresno is grabbing onto this run.
Oh, that's great.
Surprised they're keeping the merchandise in stock to sell it.
Sounds like they've had a run. Wetzel takes the ball just out of the zone as Hauer stares in. He thought he had that one on the outside corner.
Maybe next year they'll get to fly nonstop when they come.
Now, college baseball always seems to get the short end of the athletic budget.
That's with all the different teams, not just if it's Georgia or if it's Fresno State or anybody.
That one misses. 3 balls, no strikes. Eric Wetzel ahead in the count with Hedstrom down at first after being hit. We've had legitimate plunkings this year. We have not had guys throwing chicken wings out there and getting those easy passes. Point of emphasis from the umpires this year is not to allow that. You don't have to try to get out of the way, but you can't lean in and intentionally be hit, especially with all the armor that they're allowed to wear now, where it's not going to hurt you. Missed with a fastball, and Wetzel is aboard. And you're going to hear some gripes from the Georgia dugout on the strike zone. And now Susdorf, the dangerous, sweet swinging left-hander who homered his last time up. Guys that swing like him, it's just fun to watch him in the box.
Very sweet swing.
Look at the cut where he hit his home run. Little Fred Lynn in there, isn't there?
Maybe a little bit, you're right.
The senior takes this one inside. Maybe a little more herky-jerky through the zone with his hands. But obviously at 344 he gets it done. Ball 3.
The next generation forward, he looks a little bit more like Will Clark. With the nice, easy, smooth stride, the angle of the bat attack, the compression right before the swing. A lot like him. And it drops the bat head a little natural uppercut where the front hip gets a little higher than the back hip.
Small percentage of Will Clark's success, and he's going to have a great career.
That'd be nice. There were some giant teams back then with Matt Williams and Will Clark and those guys.
They
Robbie
could pound
Thompson.
it. 3-0 to Susdorf. Rim loses another one. So he's hit a batter and walked 2 straight. That's not good. The freshman from Bristol, Virginia. His job after his team came back and scored 4 was not to pour gasoline on the fire, and instead he's got the bases loaded, nobody out. Georgia, if they can come back and win this, will win their second College World Series title in school history. Fresno State has to win this game to force a rubber match tomorrow night at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And right now, Fresno State with the upper hand and trying to add to a 5-run lead. Amati will come to the plate with the bases loaded. The infield is back.
It's interesting to watch both these skippers try and negotiate through the end of this game. Teetering on, well, is it out of whack? Do I need to use a good pitcher? Can I get to the end with this guy? We're seeing guys that have had over 30 days rest. We're seeing freshmen that really aren't made for this situation. And it's all dictated because of fatigue and the score and the way these teams have played to this point.
If you hadn't followed us earlier in the College World Series, Fresno State to get here had to burn most of its pitching staff. So last night they were piecing it together, trying to get 3, 4, even 5 guys just to get a complete game as a group, pitching by committee. They did that, but they still lost the game. So now they only had one guy that they figured was ready that they could get 4 or 5 innings out of tonight. Same thing. We've got a pitch by committee. If we can get to Wednesday, we're in better shape. Right now, they've got a shot, and a good one, at getting to Wednesday.
And they get to a point where they can use a bona fide starter that they have that probably could go 4, 5, 6 innings in Justin Wilson, who has performed well here. And it's hard to believe, but Fresno State has had the best pitching here at the College World Series.
Amazing, isn't it? This one toward the hole and into right field for a base hit. 1 run will score. Another coming to the plate. 2 more. Score for Fresno State. Amati delivers with 2 RBIs on a single to right. And they say that walks will come back to haunt you. How about hit by pitch, walk, walk?
It sure does. And the freshman really, an ERA that's up there. He has an unbelievable arm, was drafted very high, but decided to go to college, and come around his junior year, he'll be there. But Amati hit for average here at the College World Series, now driving in a few runs.
Tonight, a home run, a single, a walk, and a line out. Line out may have been the hardest hit ball. Nearly took Poitras down the right field line with it. First and third, nobody out. Susdorf at third, Amati at first. Lefty against lefty. And Justin Earls, the new pitcher, a sophomore from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Georgia's going to start running out pitchers with ERAs over 6 to see if they can perform.
Yep. Got him. Mendoza unable to hold up and chased a pitch low and away.
Lefty on lefty, throw the breaking ball. If you get ahead with the fastball, then make the breaking ball look like a strike, end up a ball. It's a nice pitch.
Very difficult for college left-handers to hit left-handers because, one, they don't face that many, and they don't face that many good ones.
You get a lefty with a good breaking ball and fastball command, and you're at the college level, you've got somebody who's going to be drafted, and you've got a big-time weapon for these games.
Yep. Here's Grubb, who came on as a pinch hitter and is now catching. Hits this ball to left center. Cerrone will make the catch. That will get another run home. The sacrifice fly for Danny Grubb and an RBI. Fresno State has just become the first team to score 16 or more runs twice in the same College World Series. They put up 17 against Rice. I would have thought LSU would have done that about 5 times.
Yeah, through
back
all
in
those
the Gorilla
years,
Ball era.
Yeah, when they thought the aluminum bat was overcooked. And all the runs that we saw.
This is Detweiler with 2 outs. Detweiler at 257 now. Fly ball, foul territory. Poitras over safely in the stands. Most of the crowd has hung around here for this one. Not bad.
Well, you got to expect a comeback. There's been some late inning heroics. This is going to be a large one.
A lot of souvenirs tonight, that's for sure. And Justin Earls, the sophomore, looks like he's got some skills as a left-hander.
He's got a loose, quick arm. He can definitely spin the ball when you see that much break on a curveball. You're just going to have to learn to control his body a little bit more, get it down the hill consistently so he can command the baseball. But as far as velocity and movement, there's enough there to pitch in the big leagues. It's just that they're going to be command.
Tried to check his swing, could not, and they'll have to throw him out as the ball was not handled by the catcher.
Last night Cinderella lost a slipper. Tonight they found it. And we might have a game tomorrow night to decide this whole year.
But doesn't Cinderella have to be at home by midnight? You don't want a pumpkin playing tomorrow night.
The 2 carriage drivers up here need to. These kids could stay up all night for this prize.
Cerrone will lead it off in the Georgia 8th. Deep right. Caught up the wall. Detweiler. His coach says he just runs into stuff. Bad thumb and all, and Cerrone is robbed. He blasted that one to the wall in right center, and Detweiler never gave up on it.
Mike Batesel says, watch him. He'll be dirty by the 3rd inning. Well, he's been dirty this whole game, and that is a collision play in a baseball game. No fear. Wall, padding, torn cartilage in your left thumb. Put the glove up there. Let it run right into the wall.
And got a facial for his trouble. Boy, you just love guys that play with that kind of intensity. And Cerrone, yeah, it's the kind of night it's been. A wry smile instead of an explosion. That one's just foul. Off the bat of Robbie O'Brien. All you can do is tip your cap on some plays, isn't it?
It was a portrait. Cerrone's expression was a portrait of the respect that both these teams have for each other, the way they play so hard and don't give up. It's an 18-10 game. Top of the 8th inning, you got a right fielder run into a wall to get an out.
SportsCenter coming along when we're done. Neil Everett, Scott Van Pelt. Cubs going for 15 straight. And the biggest NBA draft pick and one-on-one with Chad Johnson.
I've been kind of out of sync with the big league game. We've been here for so long.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Cubs were that hot.
Well, they weren't when you got here.
That's right. There's been 3 managerial changes, a GM firing. The Cubs are going for 15.
Chopped off the glove of Amati. We haven't had the presidential election yet, have we?
No. This has been a longer format.
Yes, it has. So O'Brien reaches on an infield single as Amati dove to his right, tried to come up with it. This will bring up Fuller. He singled his last time up as a pinch hitter. Excuse me, it's Tom's, 2 out. Georgia with only 4 outs left, down by 8. That hill we were talking about getting steeper and steeper right now. And Fresno State is on the verge of forcing a 3rd game to decide a national championship. And with these two teams, that's probably the way it ought to be.
That was an interesting word picture used right there, that they're not getting any closer, but it's getting steeper. So you're just changing the angle of the climb.
That's right. And that's going to be fielder's indifference instead of a stolen base, as Fuller goes down to second. Down to third, guess who? Mendoza, the human vacuum cleaner. It's got to be the most frustrating thing when you come out to argue a call, because you turn out to be right and the umpire is telling you something that never really happened, because he said he never bobbled the ball, and obviously he did.
And Dave Pernell did a great job holding his composure, because he could decide, you know what, I'm going to get kicked out of this game and light a fire under my kids, and we'll come back out here tomorrow. We're down by 8, but you know what? Very good role model there. He goes out and he sticks up for his team, but he doesn't light the fuse and doesn't really blow himself up.
Jake Johnson, the pinch hitter for Jordan Rivera, and he leads the inning off with a single to right. Another base hit. And Trent Soares will be the pinch runner for him. So just about everybody getting a chance to play in this one. Soares, a freshman from Fresno, California. This ball chopped up the middle and through. Muno with another base hit.
Easy. Let me get the ball and I'll give you time. All right, now time is called.
Runners at first and second, and nobody out, as Soares advances on the base hit by Muno.
Pretty soon somebody's got to have to put their hands on their hips, because I'm an old roller derby fan, and that's how you call off the jam. Enough points.
You know, that's when you knew you were desperate to continue watching television, when there was nothing on, when you were watching roller derby. Well, I think we're going to be here tomorrow night. And if we are, the NCAA College World Series presented on ESPN by Dick's will start at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. You'll see Georgia Fresno State in the 3rd game of the best-of-3 series. And we are going to have another pitching change. Steve Esmond will be the new pitcher. We're leaving Justin Earls. And now it's time for our Pontiac game-changing performance, and it is Susdorf.
Well, what a big game for him. Base hit, scores a few runs, part of the comeback, and then he decides to go way deep over the right field wall. WAC Player of the Year, and he performed like one tonight.
Dropped the bat head on that home run and just smoked it. 344 on the year. 4 driven in tonight in a spanking so far, 18-10. Since we went to a best-of-3 format, only one team has ever lost the first game and come back to win. That was Oregon State. And only one team has won the first game and lost, conversely, and that was North Carolina in 2006. So you can look at it one of 2 ways.
And that's since '03 we've been in this format. So it's pretty short term, short sampling. I don't think Fresno State will believe anything of that tomorrow.
No. Here's Esmond, the sophomore from Lilburn, Georgia. And he'll face Gavin Hedstrom, who's going to have a chance to add to this total. And Hedstrom with a couple of base hits tonight. Hit by a pitch his last time up.
Esmond throws it about 84, 87. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Very much a tempo pitcher. Smooth. Guys
Called
with this,
strike at the knees.
guys with this kind of delivery that are real smooth, they've got to have great location. There's not a lot of deception to their delivery. Kind of a high three-quarter delivery. But what you have to do is either make that ball dance or hit the corners. Because that kind of delivery, there's not a lot of deception for a hitter. We saw that pitch coming right at us right there. It was pretty easy to visualize where that ball would end up. You're going to be working on. Think about somebody like Greg Maddux, how smooth his delivery is, but how accurate he is and how he can change speeds and make the ball do different things. So the basic solid delivery is great. You got to make the ball do different things.
Chop to third.
Right here, right here, right here.
They'll tag and get the force at third as Soares is out. Hedstrom reaches on a fielder's choice. SportsCenter, of course, will come up when we're done here, and we're in the bottom of the 8th in an 18-10 game. This is really, from our standpoint as an announcing crew, the first blowout kind of game, the big first high scoring game we've had. The others have been very well played, very well pitched, and very well defensed games, and certainly not scores of this variety. But Georgia jumped on top of this one with 5 runs. Another chopper through by Wetzel into left field. And another run, the 19th home for Fresno State. And an RBI single for Wetzel. His dad loves that.
Well, Eric Wetzel finds another hole. Fresno State seems like when they hit it, they find a hole, and when they hit it soft, they find a hole. And this is it again, out of the reach of Gordon Beckham. And if I'm Mike Batesel, I got to start worrying about my hitter's arm's going to get tired from all these swings.
Third base coach is dead tired from waving him in. And now Susdorf. He chops it toward first. They'll get the force at second, and that's it. As Susdorf reaches on the fielder's choice.
I tell you, tomorrow we're in for a barn burner.
I think
Because
so
we've
too.
had a squeaker, now we've got a blowout, we got a pitching change here. But tomorrow night's going to be some kind of championship game. You're so bad.
You know, we have been so cruel. We have trotted out that picture.
That's the third or fourth
at every opportunity.
Where's your high school picture? College picture?
I look good.
We haven't seen
Can't
it yet.
scare me.
I'm telling you what, Fresno State tomorrow night, to change the subject, is going to have Justin Wilson on the mound, who pitched on the 15th and the 21st already here at the College World Series. It's going to be the first time in this 3-game series that they're going to have a legitimate starter on the mound. Not a reliever that maybe you can go 2 or 3 and get us to the rest of the bullpen.
You can't get away from that graphic that quickly. I've lost track. Who's up? Who's playing? I know it's 19-10, and I'm tired.
Nathan Moreau will probably start for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Jason Lever is the new pitcher, 2-0 this year. He's out of Springfield, Ohio. Boy, that thing shot to left by Alan Amati. 2 outs in the inning. And Georgia only with 3 outs left and very little hope, down by 9. Even if you were an optimist like a Georgia Bulldog. Base on balls to Amati, which will get Mendoza up again against another left-hander. He struck out against the lefty last time and didn't look all that comfortable doing it. But Lever trying to get out of trouble here. If you're a pitching staff, you don't want anybody laying 20 on you.
No. I mean, almost better for Georgia the more embarrassing this gets. You lose a nail biter and you go, wow, that was so close. I mean, we could have won a national championship. You get a blowout like this, it's going to be easy for Dave Perno to come up with a motivational speech. It's going to be a little easier for the history buff to get his guys on top of their game. And Mike Batesel is going to have to fight to make sure his offense is not overconfident coming in tomorrow. But the rest of their team is going to be on their toes. The pitcher is going to be ready. The defense is going to be ready. You just got to make sure your offense is ready after scoring 19.
And you can bet that Dave Perno is in that dugout right now. He's not telling them, look, we can come from behind in this game. He's setting things up for tomorrow. Saying, guys, you know, we're just going to have to forget about this.
You think about that guy thinking so far in advance that when Gordon Beckham makes the final out of the 2006 College World Series as a freshman, hitting the double play, he immediately goes to him and says, you're going to lead us back here someday. And it happens this year. You know what he's saying to his players. Even in this game, he's on top of the moment.
Great point. And not only, I mentioned this before, not only is it a tremendous coaching moment 2 years ago to go out and not let a player be buried by that experience, though Beckham's got the talent, it probably wouldn't have happened anyway. But it was also a very compassionate thing for him to do. Grounded down to first. There's the final out of the inning. We will go to the ninth. Last chance for Georgia coming up. And Jacob Howard just out there trying to throw strikes.
I wonder if Ryan Pizell punched the back of his seat on the bus like he did March 14th and open up on the troops for one last time as a senior. That loss against Arkansas looked like they were going to have the same season as they had in 07. And he said, we're not going to be the 07 team of 23 and 33. And he stood up, as Aaron reported, and let the team have it.
It's what you have to have out of senior leaders. And they've had it out of that group. Dave Perno contacted 9 players, 5 seniors, 4 juniors, saying they'll follow you, but you got to lead.
You know, 2 possible firsts tomorrow. The first team to win a national championship after a losing season, Georgia. Fresno State, the first team to use every loss and get to a national championship, going 5-0 in elimination games.
One of those things will happen.
And the last 4 would be national seeds. Arizona State 3, Rice 6, UNC 2, and then Georgia, if they beat them, number 8.
It's a remarkable run, and done by the lowest seeded team ever to make a championship series in NCAA history. Foul tip, just stays alive. And we will have the most losses if we have a third game tomorrow, because this would be number 24 for Georgia. The record was 23. So a team with the most losses in history will have this championship tomorrow night. Let's go to Aaron.
Mike, you and Oral were wondering what head coach Dave Perno was saying to his Georgia Bulldogs as he was walking up and down the dugout while he was trying to turn a negative into a positive, saying, hey guys, look on the bright side. Now every single one of you has gotten a chance to play here in Omaha, because this game has gone so long and they've had to use as many players as possible. But, you know, he's just trying to spout off positive things. By the way, you know, for people that don't know at home, we have meetings before every game with coaches and their players. They come to our hotel. They're gracious enough to do that. Dave Perno today and Mike Batesel did not come to our hotel. We did a phoner with them. Dave Perno telling me this evening, I will be at your hotel tomorrow at 11 a.m. We ruined the routine. We're going back to what we did that got us here. So we'll see him at 11 a.m. tomorrow. No phoner.
That's the first time we've been credited with bringing part of a team's routine.
First time we've been credited with anything. And rightfully so.
We had to get up and go meet with you guys.
Well, coaches are creatures of habit. People in sports are creatures of habit.
Well, that means he's going to bring Gordon Beckham. He's going to bring Ryan Pizell. And he's going to bring his starting pitcher.
Amati wide at first, goes to Hauer. Well, let's not get those guys up early.
That's
Maybe
who he's
it'll
been
just
bringing.
be him. That's true. We'll do Mike Batesel on the phone. Mike will be happy about that.
I want Mike to come after this game. I want to hear about this game up close and personal.
They both are. I like both of these guys. They've been real gentlemen with us and extremely helpful. Beckham chopped to deep short. Muno throws it wide. So Beckham reaches. Well, Beckham certainly doesn't want to make the last out. He did that 2 years ago in a game out here. Doesn't want to do it in any game.
And the last thing I wanted to see is him hit that chopper and try and bust it and leap for the bag and pull a hamstring, and we don't have him tomorrow.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
It's like, ease up, big fella. This game's not in balance. Your run doesn't mean a thing. It's been a long night for these guys.
Now Poitras. Dave Perno makes a good point. A lot of guys for both clubs have been able to get into this ball game, and some of these people will never have the opportunity to even have a shot at pro ball, but it will be a memory that all of them will cherish for the rest of their lives. Hauer, if he gets the final out, because he will have pitched 3 innings, would have a chance to get a save in this game, and why not? That is a rather generous statistical quirk. This one is popped to second. Wetzel makes the catch.